give you all a little scoop into what's been happening, it's been about 2 days since the whole Necron incident.
Fun.
And you are all on the Apollyon, which is currently with the monocular on a wide orbit of the outer part of the system. You're basically circling the edge of the system, waiting for Olanius Pius, who will be arriving in his own ship shortly to give you all answers.
Lanius Pius.
It's like 3 or 4 hours until he's designated to show up, so you all have a bit of time to get things done or chat with each other or whatever.
Let's see.
Let's do a die of fate to see which one matters more out of the two things I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sterling, call it. Odds or even?
Even.
Even?
Even.
Apparently the dice bot doesn't want to... Oh no, that was 11.
Well, looks like I get to go, looks like, that's more important than paperwork. Gonna go visit, Medea.
Okay. Again, she's not crazy busy right now. Her store is the same as it's pretty much always been. It's all kind of just built into the wall now. It looks like it's been slowly being expanded upon.
Right.
That's what the scaffolding was for earlier. Anyway. So yeah, you find her residing inside the shop as per usual. Actually, this time hawking goods to one of the crew members.
Let's walk up behind them and just silently watch for a second. If you want, I can roll stealth for that. I have that.
Well, I mean, I don't think you really need to stealth for a situation like this, because you basically just open the door, see the guy, and like he doesn't turn around to see who you are. He just continues in his negotiations.
Right.
Which, by the way, could you roll me a, I guess, scrutiny if you have it?
Yes, I do. What is that based off of?
Perception? I believe.
Perception.
Yes.
Jordan sounds dead. Are you okay?
Oh, that's a fail.
No. Okay. Then you do not notice.
After a second, if the negotiating doesn't end, it's like, so, how long do you plan on bartering?
Until I get a better price. This is way too much to spend on a normal talisman. I mean, hell, it probably won't even do anything for me.
Well, you know, I have it on good faith. That's actually pretty handy when we're in the war.
Right. But... I mean, aren't these things supposed to be personalized? Isn't that what you said? He looks right at Medea, who kind of shrugs and goes, things change.
They're only personalized if you know, order it ahead of time and actually don't try to barter.
The guy throws a couple thrones on the counter and grabs the little medallion and walks out. And you have one last scrutiny check as the guy walks past you with the medallion in his hand.
Okay.
Oh, no. This can only end well.
Because he's super close to you now. You're basically rubbing shoulders at the point he's leaving.
The dice spot hates you.
Apparently.
Oh no.
So yeah, no, you don't notice anything. And yeah, he slams the door behind him, which makes Medea kind of snort and go, "Wow, what a rude man."
I mean, could always make sure he, you know. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna tell you what I could do.
I'm more than capable of handling snooty customers. I've been dealing with it my whole life.
Yeah, but you've got to remember you're on the ship now. Talking to the shit, what's my job? Security captain? Is that it? Close enough. I do the arresting. That's the point.
Right. And what would you arrest him for? Being an asshole?
Specifically to me, yeah.
Gotta
That's right,
love
Al.
the Imperium. Only place in the galaxy you can imprison somebody for being an asshole to you.
Ah, well. At least I haven't gone back to the office to see what mountain of paperwork's waiting for me.
Yes, I bet you're just looking forward to that, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. You know, 3-4 days worth of paperwork. At least.
Well, at the very least, you'll be happy to know that Malice and his crew have been doing your job for you while you were gone.
That's supposed to make me happy.
No, because they left all the paperwork for you.
Right. I have to talk to the captain about that one, because Miles is capable of doing his own paperwork. But anyway, I'm not here to talk business. What's up? It's been a while.
Well, a few things happened. We started a band. The what do you call it? The party that goes off the ship
Wait.
for leave. Shore leave, that's it. The shore leave crews have been having a lot of fun on the moon, and there was a minor, I say very minor, incident with an accidental summoning of a demon.
You fucking what? You know, I'm sure it's in the paperwork. We'll find out more later.
Except the band part. That won't be in the paperwork.
What do you mean you started a band? Like music?
Like music, yes.
What kind of music?
Well, it depends really on the crowd, but you'd really have to be asking Sun more. He's the one who does all the writing. I'm just there for my feminine voice.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome!
Yeah, sorry. Went in the living room. Dad talked to me. He takes too long to explain things.
It happens.
Long story short, it's been 2 days, you're on the Apollyon.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Sorry, like right when I sat down, my knee hit my desk.
Ow.
Nice.
So,
Yes.
anyway, back to the conversation I was having. Yeah, Medea basically informs you that Sun does like all of the writing and the genre decisions for the most part. She's just there to lend her female vocals.
What?
Sort of assumed that of all the things, you know, you'd be a singer. I just thought there'd be a limit to the talents, you know?
She kind of shrugs and goes, people surprise you.
Yeah, but you know, I just thought there'd be a limit to how many talents one person can have.
Sun is very old.
I was talking about... Aye. Because I've still got to learn a lot about that whole courting thing, haven't I?
Indeed you do.
Or maybe there's a disconnect going on, but either way.
No.
By the way, Can you roll fellowship for a moment for me?
Yeah, sure. Another skill another thing I don't have.
It should be a base stat, shouldn't it?
It is.
Oh,
Oh,
You
Okay.
passed that.
Yeah, Medea's been subtly fucking with you this whole time.
uh-huh.
Like, she's not lying about anything, but she's definitely fucking with you for her own amusement.
Do you enjoy confusing me?
I mean, it's quite entertaining to watch, but it does get old after a while.
I was just gonna say, isn't that a little too easy to do?
I mean, I had to try.
I mean, you really don't. You just have to say something that I've not heard of yet. I mean, I barely understand the concepts of music.
What, you never banged some rocks together to a tune, or whistled before?
I mean, if we did, it was completely by accident. Or to, get somebody's attention.
Hmm.
The only time we ever actually, did anything close to music was when we started banging the drums in hopes that the fire would stay alive. We haven't exactly.
God visiting your planet would just be a treat.
If it's still even around.
It's hard to tell with the current state of the galaxy.
Indeed. It's also hard to tell that I haven't actually looked into it. I'm sure my brother would know, but I wouldn't know where to find him.
Hmm. So Medea's starting to play out wafer cards that look like they're made of crystal.
Uh-huh.
Not 5 on the table.
What are those?
Emperor's Tarot cards. Pretty boring stuff for the most part, but in the hands of a skilled user, they can possibly divine the future.
So you can do the time stuff that we can't. Going forward in time.
Not really. I mean, all I'm doing is making a guess off of what the cards are telling me. Which is very vague.
Right. I mean, it's how things tend to work, I guess.
Why don't you give it a go? You've already dealt the cards, all you have to do is flip them over.
Oh, okay. Gonna grab one and flip it over.
Okay, which one of the 5?
What setup are we talking? Is it a straight line?
Yes, it's 5 in a straight line in front of you.
Okay. Then I guess I'd probably go all the way to the left. 'Cause
Okay.
That's how paperwork works.
So you go all the way to the left and you flip over the tarot card.
Yeah.
And the first one you get is death.
Oh,
Well, that's not a very good way to start off.
that awkward moment when you know real life tarot and don't know fucking.
It's basically like the real life tarot, but, changed to be 40k.
Well, that's the problem, is that Syl doesn't, so Syl thinks death is a bad card. Mason does. Mason knows death isn't a bad card. Oh, well. Death at the beginning. Okay. Next card.
It's the Astronomicon or the Tower, depending.
That's not as bad. It's a very scary looking card.
The card essentially looks like a lighthouse, but the light on top is so bright it takes up the entire top half of the card.
Right. Next card.
It's the God Emperor, the King.
That's got to be a good card.
Maybe, maybe not. Your brother wasn't a psyker, was he?
I don't know.
Okay.
We've got 2 left. Let's get to that second to last one.
It is the Fool. The Laughing
Oh.
Man. It's stylized to look like Cheogorath, by the way.
Are the guards starting to fight me?
No, I don't think so.
I believe in the heart of the cards. Let's see what the last one says.
The last one is blank. Like, when you flip it over, you actually see the face of the card start to blank out before you can really make it out. You can make a scrutiny check to catch it before it disappears, but...
Let's see. If Discord will... Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, so, the card that it was before it fades is the Psyker, a mage.
Right.
Yeah. And when it fades, after about a second, it takes on a new picture that isn't a tarot card picture. It's a picture of your brother looking bored, staring at copious amounts of paperwork piled on his desk.
Oh, my brother is a psyker, isn't he?
Medea kind of shrugs and goes, maybe? It's definitely a possibility at this point, but it's impossible to tell from just the vague notions on the cards.
I mean, it's a little spooky that the card that was the psyker turned into my brother. Is it not?
Maybe. Or maybe it just means that he has a powerful psyker ally. And maybe this perspective she taps on the card is from their eyes.
That could be true, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what any of this is supposed to mean.
I think what it's supposed to symbolize is your brother went through a trial where massive amounts of death were involved, obviously. He went on a journey via the Astronomicon, so he probably went to a different planet. The Emperor obviously is the Imperium in this case, who looks like is where he met his psyker ally and is currently in... Well, I can't quite tell where he's at, but he's definitely in some kind of planet-based structure. It doesn't look like a space station to me, or even a ship.
Uh-huh.
But beyond that, I have no idea, nor what the Fool is supposed to represent. Maybe he did something foolish? Maybe got himself in trouble, hence why he's now pushing paperwork? Either way, it doesn't matter. These are just predictions. She kind of shuffles the cards back into the deck. There's no way to tell if they'll actually come true or not.
Well, I mean, there's no way to tell, but we can always rush into it like usual.
If I see anything, any other visions of your brother, I'll make sure to let you know. By the way, have you seen the captain?
The captain should be aboard the ship. Do you need to speak with her?
Not really. I just want to make sure that our departure isn't dropped on us. I like to chart my route out ahead, so to speak. At least as far as I can.
Yeah. I don't think we've got anywhere else to go for a moment.
Well, if you excuse me, it's still business hours. She kind of leans over and looks at 3 more crew members who have come through.
Ah, right.
Fun, fun.
Well, I'll have to be back later.
Right, right.
And to paperwork we go.
All right. So it's gonna fuck off and do a mountain of paperwork.
Yep.
By the way, before you leave, you asked the crew, actually questioning Medea about the specific type of talisman they all want.
Uh-huh.
Which, just to let you know, they call it the two-faced emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Then you close the door.
Yeah.
And off to do paperwork you go. Who's next?
Um,
I'm still deciding.
Anybody?
I'll
I-
bite the bullet, even though I just got back.
Well, you are currently in the middle of trying to figure out what the fuck you're going to do to differentiate Lumen from you. You're both literally sitting in your stateroom staring at each other like some kind of mirror at this point.
Fuck. Well, besides dyeing the hair, I guess we can keep it simple for now. He wears blue and I wear red.
The one suggestion he's had is a mask. Like something to wear over his face.
I guess that could work while we're on missions, but
Well, Lumen's reasoning behind this is that if he remains masked all the time, then the enemies at the time won't know that he's another copy of you, and you could pull some real trickery with that.
fair enough.
But that's just Lumen being a malicious prick.
Fair enough. Let me guess, you have an idea for a design, don't you?
Eh, not really yet. I'm just spitballing right now. I guess I could probably just wear a helmet. Ooh, or I could, like, dress myself up like a guardsman.
And have Mal take you somewhere?
I mean, to be fair, he's probably gonna try that anyway.
Wow.
What? I don't know if you noticed, but the guy's kind of a power freak.
Yeah. He's a commissar.
Well, you know, as long as Shade doesn't come after me, I think I'll be alright.
Oh, fuck, I gotta explain that to her. Shit.
Yeah, it's kind of the reason why I've been disappearing whenever she's around.
Yeah, alright, stay here. I'll be back later. Wait. Sets it to blue.
Wait.
I'll let you know.
You set your good old watch to blue.
Yeah.
So Lumen doesn't sound very convincing when he's like, yeah, I'll stay here.
Okay. Let me rephrase. Don't get caught.
See there, now you're talking my language. Or our language. This is weird.
Our language. Just leave it at that. Guess if anyone asks too many questions, we're just brothers.
I'm sure that won't be suspicious at all. And as you're turning around and leaving and the door closed, Lumen launches into this one-sided conversation where he's like, "Oh, hi, Redden. I didn't know you had been hiding a twin your whole life," and then the blast doors close.
Uh-huh.
He's still going on through the door, by the way. He
Oh.
might be on a bit of a rant.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Time to find Shade to explain that bit.
Yeah, you're gonna have to roll me a die of fate to see if you can even find her.
She's not in the broom closet with Gallahorn?
Yeah, no.
Fuck. Is
If you
Gallahorn
go
in there?
to it, it is completely deserted.
Oh, well, fuck. That is not my thing. There it goes. What the fuck? It's always my die of fate to find Shade.
So you found her.
Eh.
So where you find Shade specifically is in one of the disused rooms that's just kind of an empty... Well, it's not quite a closet. It's a little bigger, but it's essentially an empty storage room.
Mm-hmm.
Where she set up her little fancy Insta setup camp. All of the fancy gear and the tent. No, and she actually doesn't notice you come in. She's so distracted by something in front of the something on the little box receiver she's got. It's kind of like an interception device.
Okay. I guess walk up to a safe distance, then call out Shade.
Yeah, no, she's got headphones on. She can't hear you.
Wow.
It's essentially the oh my god, she's got AirPods in meme.
Damn it.
You know what's funny? When you said that, I actually picked up my AirPods and started looking at them. God damn it. Okay,
So for the time being, Shade is completely transfixed on what she's listening to / recording on a little notebook.
I'm going to basically get around into her peripheral vision and wave.
Okay, so when you edge around into peripheral vision, there's this moment where she kind of twitches and her head looks right at you, and then back to the paperwork. But the headphones come off.
What you listening to?
Communications.
So why'd you move over here?
Because everybody knows where to find me there, and I don't like that.
Fair enough.
Plus, Gallerhorn doesn't seem to be around to stop me, so...
So, how you been holding up since the resort?
I'm just glad to be away from all of those high-class sleazeballs. It's the reason I joined the Inquisition in the first place.
Okay. So, I'm pretty sure if you've already seen him.
Who, the other you?
Yeah, his name's Lumen,
He's pretty good at hiding. Pretty good.
but he's not you.
Right.
And I don't know how to continue this conversation besides, yeah, there's another me.
But you already knew about that, because haha, of course you did.
Yeah.
Also, Shade seems a lot less rapey than normal today.
Are you okay?
Not really.
What's wrong?
I mean, you already know I hate my past.
fair.
Revisiting that part of me was something I never wanted to do again. I hate myself for it.
Well, look on the bright side. You can't go back now. At all.
Right. Until somebody else needs my business acumen and... Is there a reason you're here right now?
To check on you and tell you about Lumen.
Right. Well, I already knew about him and I am just fine. Thank you.
Okay. Don't
If
need.
you do see Gallarhorn, kick him in the dick for me.
I choose life, thank you.
I choose life. By the way, one other thing Redden's noticed.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally the longest conversation you've ever had with Shade in one sitting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Which is kind of bothering you.
Yeah. Well, you want me to leave you alone, or?
I really don't care whether you stay or leave. It may be a shame, but I do love to watch you walk away.
What? Just full on confusion. What?
It was a subtle... You know what? Never mind. So Shade is at this point now scowling and writing furiously.
And I'll take that as my leave to go.
Okay. So that was weird.
Yeah.
Any other plans, Mr. Redden?
How's Magnus doing as I walk back to my room?
He is literally sitting there, kind of like halfway engrossed in a book, halfway talking with Lumen. He's kind of multitasking at this point.
Hi, Magnus.
Hello, Redden.
I'm sorry about the box thing.
Well, that... Yeah, you served out your punishment. Try that again, though, and you might just be taking a visit right to the warp. And trust me, you don't want to go there. At least not without a Gellerfield.
I'm sure if I scream loud enough, something bad will happen. Oh!
Oh?
Do you have any suggestions for differentiating him?
I mean... Why not just give him sunglasses? Or something to hide his face, like a bandana or a helmet.
Or a mask?
I mean, that could work too, but helmets aren't, or masks aren't exactly bulletproof. Helmets are.
I'm sure we can find something.
Either way. And unless you want a screaming visage from the warp, don't ask me to make a mask. Unless you do want a screaming visage from the warp, in which case I can help you right out with that.
As fucked as that sound, I feel like that's going to be useful one day. I'll keep that in my back pocket.
What, having a mask that just basically causes insanity when you look at it? Yeah, that could be useful. Or really harmful.
Gotta use it on the right people.
So, Necrons, eh?
Yeah!
I'm kind of surprised that we're not all dead.
Is this Magnus or Lumen?
It's Magnus. Lumen is being kind of quiet this whole time, kind of just watching your dynamic.
Uh-huh. Yeah, me too. Then again, you would just went back to the planet. Right? That's how that works, right?
Yes, I would return to the warp.
Yeah.
Well, more precisely, my piece of, well, it's not quite a soul, it's more like warp stuff, but that piece of me would return to the rest of myself in the warp.
Okay.
Well, specifically the planet of sorcerers, but, you know, it's not super important right now.
Yeah, so basically, what's in front of me is but a fraction of the real you.
Well, yeah. If I tried to shove any more of me into you, you probably would have just exploded with your arms and legs, flying off into different directions in a giant gush of blood. I've seen it before, it's not pretty.
Did you try it before?
Not me, Angron.
Okay.
Yes, he tried to empower one of his champions, and well, that didn't quite work out for the person who knows the least about self-control in my family. Or the most, depending on how you look at it.
No, I don't have siblings. Well, technically I have one now, but we know the truth.
So,
Yes, Magnus?
what are we gonna do next?
I would assume recover from what the fuck we just did on that planet. Go somewhere, restock, refuel, and get ammo.
Oh, right, you're not fueled like by warp stuff like I am. I kind of forget that sometimes. Sorry.
Do they even run out of bullets?
Huh?
Your Marines.
It's a weird question.
Yeah, do they?
Maybe.
That,
I've never really quite looked into it myself since Aramin ran off with half of my fucking legion.
then what about the half that stayed?
They're all busy on research projects or plundering the galaxy of knowledge and whatnot. Way too busy for me to go and investigate any of them. Plus, the rituals I'm taking a part in are way too important for me not to, be there for.
So I have a hypothetical for you. Then I already know you want me to let you take control if we find Aramin, but that's that. As you said, that's the half of the Legion that he took with him. What about the other half? What if we run into them?
That's quite easy.
Let you take over.
I'll just use my knowledge of my legion and my powers to disguise you all. You know, after all, they're not going to question another rubric or two in there. Well, they might, actually. I'll need to think about that one.
No, just you showing up. Hey, leave him alone.
Yeah, that might work and it might not.
Okay.
Things have got a little crazy in the past 5,000 years. I'm not sure if all of my sons in my legion would even listen to me anymore. But I suppose that's my politics to deal with, not yours.
I know nothing about having an army.
Right. Well, this is getting us nowhere.
Yeah. I seem to be really good at that.
I suppose with none of you in any dire straits anymore, I'll return to the planet of sorcerers and deal with my business, unless you need something else.
Have fun?
Fun. He says that as he disappears. And leaving you and Lumen, who goes, "Man, that guy needs to get laid." You think we could dump shade on him? Nah, probably not.
Excuse me?
What? I mean, he can look human. Kind of.
Yeah. Plus, you're one to talk.
Hey, your problems are not my problems. We may be the same person, but...
Uh-huh. Now what?
Well, I'm gonna go get drunk, Lumen says as he gets up and walks away.
Fuck it. I'm gonna follow him.
Oh god.
Great.
2 party members
So-
going to get drunk.
Lumen's going to be going down to the really shadiest shit bar.
Uh-huh.
Not the officers one, but the underdeck one. Why? Because apparently this place is more his vibe, and apparently he wants to see the look of confusion on the crew's face, as there's 2 of you that walk into the room. Imagine all the rumors that will start.
You bastard.
So yeah, I'm gonna leave you and Lumen to get fucking shit-faced and confuse the party members. Or confuse the crew members. Now, will Lumen be actually partaking in drinking, or will he just be like, "Nah, I'll take some water"?
Is that what's Lumen doing?
Lumen is getting a drink. Yeah.
I will... After that mission, and probably pissing off Shade, I will get a drink too.
Okay. So you know the big like, I don't know, like liter or 2 liter like beer jugs,
Yeah.
like the big ass glass mugs.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 of those slammed on the little makeshift bar, which looks like it's just a shitload of ship doors that have been welded together and then reinforced from the bottom with I-beam.
Aesthetic.
Right. And yeah, with you and him fucking starting to drink, I will leave you there for me to get through the other 2 people. Which is Conrad and Sandra.
Hello.
Hello.
I guess I don't exist. Okay.
No, you do. I'm just getting to you last because you want to actually do like the shit that's going to take a little while.
Oh, fair point. Sorry.
Anyway, Conrad, what are you doing?
Making sure my ship is not on fire.
Yeah, no, the ship is not on fire. Although apparently there was quite a few incidents on the shore leave cruise that Sun and Malice
good.
have been taking care of.
Define taking care of.
being the judge, the jury, and the one executing the punishment. Most of it's
At the end
minor,
of a blood
like,
pistol or with his fist?
well, again, it comes down to the severity of the crime. Because Sun was also mediating, there wasn't mass executions.
Good, very good.
Only one member of the crew actually got shot, and that's because the crime he tried to commit, or, well, accidentally committed. Well, no one really knows quite what happened, but essentially the man summoned a demon.
Oh.
Yeah, on the ship. And people dealt with it, and then Malice might have got a little too heavy-handed with his heresy accusations and shot him in the fucking head. Which is why nobody really knows, because they never got to interrogate the man. But other than that, no deaths.
As it sounds like Malice.
Yeah. So nobody really quite knows, but the offending material in question, a book that was picked up on one of your previous ports you docked at, was subsequently burned, and then the ashes were spaced.
I could have checked if that was baleful ash, but never mind. To confirm if it was actually demonic or not.
Apparently, they did have Medea take a look at the book beforehand, and it was definitely heresy.
Okay, good.
Like, the book itself is already confirmed to be the perpetrator of what summoned the demon.
And now the question of whether or not it was the malefactum will never be answered.
Never.
But, basically, I think Conrad at this point would make sure that that's okay, probably go check on Malice and be like, so, demons, huh?
Just one, and a gibbering crew member.
What happened to him? Did I see him in the files?
That's the guy who summoned the demon.
Okay, so the gibbering crew member is the guy who summoned it.
Yes. Essentially, the way that the whole situation played out is he ran into the bridge, gibbering madness out of the book.
Ah.
Sun, who's currently on duty, got up and tried to, grab the man and stop him, realizing that this is probably some heretical shit that's going down. He managed to fend Sun off and then make a break for the elevator shaft. He didn't call the elevator, he jumped.
Ah.
Yeah.
Badass.
He jumps, shatters both of his legs at the bottom, and the suspect of why he still lived is because he was performing a demonic ritual, and the warp energies is what was basically keeping him alive at that point.
Right.
Anyway, by the time the elevator went all the way up and then all the way back down with Sun on it, Malice has already figured out that something's not quite up here, or something's not quite right here, and honed in on the warpish shenanigans himself with a couple junior commissars.
God.
It's at this point the man completes the ritual and summons a, I want to say blood letter? Is it? The minor corn one?
Bloodletter is the one reborn demon.
Yeah. He summons blood letter, and there's a short fight that ensues.
As long
Malice.
as it wasn't a Herald of Corn or a Blood Crusher.
Yeah. The rest of the report reads basically Malice's junior commissars dealt with the demon, while Malice and Sun meted out the punishment. Which is to say mostly Malice, because he walked up and blew the dude's brains out.
Well, I imagine Sun was in the background saying, Malice, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly how it went down.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to be like, well, that happened. Do you have anything that you particularly want to tell me about that happened while I was gone? Or can I run and go ask other people that question?
I mean, if you want to. It's been pretty boring.
I'm going to look him dead in the eyes and be like, you say pretty boring when you had to deal with You had to deal with I'm not going to say anything.
Look, it was one incident out of 100, so The rest were pretty much boring. Minor thievery, some brawls here and there. Somebody who gets a little too grabby with one of the ladies on shore leave. Minor punishments.
Oh. Right. So you have nothing else to really report to me, no problems that you want, like, discussed? You good? You good?
The only one thing that I would like to discuss is... Well, I heard some troubling reports.
Such as?
Well, apparently somebody said they saw a Necron on the ship over the past 2 days, and I think that's crazy. Ah.
I'll be honest with you, Conrad was worried about that, and that's what she was about to go check on.
Ah.
She's like, I was gonna go check on that.
Right. And, well, you do. Could you roll me an intelligence check, please?
Absolutely. Pass.
Okay, so you keep a lot of your personal effects in a little storage room off the captain's quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of also where you store your gear since Magnus took over your little hidey hole for the Eldari stuff. Anyway, when you got back, you made the kind of assumption that this is probably going to be the best place to put the fancy Necron orb until you know what to do with it.
Uh-huh.
Only it's not there anymore.
Has it's been moved to the teleport?
You're not sure where it went.
Because it's been moved to the teleportarium. I'm gonna head to the 3rd floor.
Okay. Down, down, down you go.
I'm gonna run to the teleport. I'm gonna lightly jog to the teleportarium.
Yeah, no. You jog past. All the way up there. Burst through the door. It's empty.
Alright. I'm gonna go to the Space Marine quarters.
Hmm?
I'm gonna go to the Space Marine quarters. See
Okay.
if either of them are in there.
Melchizedek isn't, but Comet is.
I'm gonna go Comet!
He looks up. By the way, he's currently, with the assistance of Shax, and Gord, dissecting one of the Tyranid corpses you guys brought back for study.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Is the second thing that comes out of Conrad's mouth. Comet! But then she's going to go, oh, wait, yeah, no, you're busy. What's Melchizedek doing? Do you know what Melchizedek's doing?
You get the message over your data slate that he's probably where he usually is, which is the AI core / Void Knight Bay.
I'm gonna go ahead and just type to him privately that, you haven't happened to hear anything about a Necron, right?
Vague rumors, but rumors tend to fly around on this ship rampantly, so I don't put much stock in them.
Cool. Cool. Thanks, Comet. Non-suspiciously go away.
Okay, so you non-suspiciously walk out.
Hey, Apollyon.
Yes?
Darling, have you seen a, green metal man with, like, the, skin of a flayed human over him, possibly with a disc?
Moment, please.
I hope he'd be pretty hard to miss.
Yeah, he's locked up right now.
Where? And by whom?
Ozra? In his little hidey hole?
Does he have a disc-looking thing?
So Pauline just routes you the feed she's watching through, which is Ozer's little hideout. Yes, it's not a disc, but an orb. But it is sitting on, the little table that is bloodstained.
Okay.
And
You want me to
the...
call him?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You can go ahead.
I was just going to say, the prison itself is made up of wraithbone. Like, white wraithbone.
Where is the Mad Doctor?
He's on the deck below you, like the underdeck of floor 3. Where all the shady shit happens.
Well, Irving has like a telepathic link basically with Osra, doesn't he?
More or
Like,
less.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
I'm actually going to ask Lurvian if he can get any info from Ozra as to why Barden... Well, I mean, I have feelings as why our Necron friend is currently in prison, but, like, you know, if I could get some confirmations on any suspicions, that'd be nice.
I think it's just because he wants to study it.
Oh.
I mean, if I were to guess.
Well, we're going to find out. I'm going to go ahead and head into the underdeck and see if I can't get to Ozra. And then try to get answers as to why Necron friend is in jail.
Right. So you've been there a few times before, and it's kind of muscle memory to lead you back there at this point because of how many times Illyrian's done it. So it doesn't take you long to find Ozra's little hidey hole on the ship.
Right.
Which is way in the back, by the way. Which is a bitch.
As it should be.
But yeah, you walk around the corner and through some pipes. You basically have to squeeze your way through and pop out into the little shop he's set up, basically, with the table, with the bloodstains on it, and the little rolling cabinet with all of his surgical gear, and the comfortable-looking chair that he probably stole from somewhere on the ship.
Where he installs totally legitimate cyberware.
Totally legit cyberware.
Is he here?
Yes. The
Ozra.
scene is still the same, by the way. He's basically just taking notes on the Necron.
Ozra.
Oh, my favorite and only patient.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing?
Is there any particular reason that friend is in cage?
Aside from him being extremely dangerous?
Yeah, besides that.
I mean, there's always the possibility he was sent here purely to activate some kill function upon a certain utterance of a phrase or a certain action, and possibly murder us all. So I've just been going through the list of common ones, trying to make sure that he won't kill everybody.
I'm gonna ask friend how he's doing in there.
Friend kind of like he tries to do the thumbs up, but it doesn't quite work with blade hands.
Right.
He kind of, tries to clench the fist and then looks down and realizes that won't work, so he just puts the thumb up and kind of holds the hand back so you can't see the bladed fingers.
Right.
It's kind of weird, but you get that that's supposed to be a thumbs up.
Gotcha.
Do you know what that toy he was holding is?
Yes.
Oh.
We are supposed to attach that to our teleportarium so Lord Chasm in all his glory can send retainers every now and again to report on our progress so he can continue to be entertained by our existence.
Great. Galaxy full of Tomb Lords, and we get the one that's crazy enough to watch humans.
At least he doesn't have a fetish.
You never know.
Count our blessings. I'm currently counting our blessings.
I promise I'll let your friend out once I make sure he's not a danger to the rest of the crew, or myself. Or you, for that matter. Mostly you.
Of course. Just to be sure that you do not piss him off or damage. If it's avoidable, of course.
No, we're getting along swimmingly. I think.
Yes, as far as I can tell, he's very, very cooperative. But yes, also at some point we do need to try to attach that thing to the teleportarium. And I have no
That's-
idea if he has any intrinsic understanding of how to do that.
That sounds something more like Gord would do.
Between Gord, Malkazetic, and even Comet, I'm sure they'll figure it out. Mostly because it wouldn't surprise me if Comet would be the one who just look at the, sphere-shaped hole in the teleportarium and just slot it in while the other two argue.
Right. Well,
I shall
Yep.
leave you to your pseudo-interrogation thing.
don't forget to swing by and get a diagnostic done sooner or later.
Probably in the next few days while we're still floating around doing nothing. Goodbye!
Goodbye, she said uncomfortably as she leaves.
Yeah, I think I'm going to swing back up to, the powwow of we're cutting up Tyranids.
Okay. Is there any specific thing you want to do whilst you're there, or?
Look, first of all, what they're doing and be like, squishy. And then also inform, Comet and Gord off to the side that, we have friend.
So, Gord goes, that's sweet! Comet goes, I can't believe the rumor's true.
I figured you might as well know.
By the way, Shax, who's also in this little coterie, is busy studying the organs that they've pulled out at this point. Specifically the brain part.
I'm gonna ask him what he finds so interesting.
Well, I mean, they have to have some kind of neural receiver to receive the hive mind, right?
I would just assume.
So, I guess I'm looking for something kind of like that? I mean, if somebody could figure out a way to disrupt the Tyranid hive mind, it could be a massive discovery for the Imperium.
Right. We don't have any friends in the xenobiologist field.
A few. To be fair, though, they're all kind of creepy.
I mean, they're xenobiologists. With all due respect, I find myself just look at the arm and then look back at him, and it's like, I don't know if there is a nice word for what I do.
Not in the Imperium, anyway.
Right, so normally the people who find these things interesting aren't most sane.
Mm,
After all, you have to love your work to some extent. Which
This
means
is
that
true.
to some small extent, they probably love the Xeno.
well, I can assure you that everybody in this room... He looks at Gord. Okay, at least 2 of the 3 people in this room don't.
Of course. I'm just saying that it is just the price we have to pay for working and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, I'll leave you to your dissections. I wish you the best of luck. You should probably also get a pick skull in here to record everything. That way you can show it to your Xeno friends. If you excuse me, I'm going to go find something else to busy myself with, because as interesting as all these blood and guts are, I'm not exactly a Medicaid.
So I do have a question for you.
This is Shax.
No, this is like from GM to player.
Hit me.
Are you serious on the whole Tyranid Gaunt Servitor thing?
It depends on how many resources they would actually take up.
Because this is the only time you'll actually get to point it out, as when they're done with their research, if they have no other use for the corpses, they're just going to donate it to the Xenos Violet. You know what I'm
I don't know
talking
why
about.
that combination of words is so fucking hard to say.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. But in that case, I will go ahead and mention to Shax that I had a very, very stupid idea, and I want to know how incredibly unconventional and impractical it would be.
Well, it wouldn't be quite impractical, as it would essentially just be another melee servitor. But the real big problem is that, well, you know, they still haven't quite figured out how the brain ticks yet, so they're not sure how to program it to do the commands they want it to.
So in other words, we just have if we were going to make them servitors, we'd have to, instead of them being real servitors, it's more like we replace their entire brain with cogitators.
Pretty much.
Which is way more expensive and defeats the purpose of servitors.
Yep. Unless somebody can make a breakthrough and figure out how this fucking brain works.
Well, I'll let them go ahead and do their research, and, success or failure, I expect some kind of report, and of course, on failure, that we don't get anything useful out of it, and, the complete replacement is the only thing we can figure out, then we will probably still just donate them and hopefully get a line of credit with the xenobiologist. I imagine that'd be quite useful.
Right. Even if they're just gaunt corpses, they'll still be valuable.
Right. So yeah, I'll leave them to it, and then Conrad is going to fucking... I have an intercept.
You have a what?
I have an intercept.
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna ask Apollyon if there's anybody on the ship who, needs me. Right now, or in the next, while.
I don't think so. But if
You're
anything
patching
does
it.
happen, I can just patch them into your interceptor, as long as you don't fly too far.
Excellent. I'm gonna go to space.
Okay, so Conrad's gonna go fuck off and fly around for a while. That leaves Sandra to be the last person before I slog through the wreck stuff with Sterling.
Oh, hello.
Yes. So you've been transferred with Barnabas and the rest of his group over to the Apollyon, as it's about 3 hours until Pius shows.
Hmm.
So you're kind of just meandering around the decks at this point, as you don't know really anything on this ship.
Yeah, I like to assume that I'm just wandering around aimlessly and getting situated.
Okay. So, would you mind rolling a die of fate to see where you end up, or do you have something specific in mind?
Well, it's nothing particularly important, so what I have in mind. But so I'll just roll the die of fate, actually,
Okay.
because that sounds more interesting. D100 guide my path. 97.
So, you find a dead end. You literally wrap yourself around several hallways trying to find something interesting and walk right into a dead end.
Tarnation.
Tarnation. By the way, your path is taking you down, further under the ship, to the point where you're pretty sure you're underneath the third deck.
So, since I'm at this dead end, should I roll another die of fate?
I mean, if you wish to.
Well, how's about before I start wandering around aimlessly again? If there are any on the ship at the moment, I will bother some of the mechanicum.
Okay. That'll take you up to the deck above you, but takes you a little while to get there. And when you do, you get to this door that's a door you need to go through to get, you think, to the upper deck. Again, you're kind of lost at this point, so you're kind of going on your gut feeling, and your gut tells you to go down this hallway. So you walk down it, and unlike all the other doors here, this one doesn't automatically open. It actually has a control panel. And on that control panel are, well, at this point now, several talismans. There are 4. And then what looks like to be a little offering basket below that console, which has very similar talismans, but of a lower quality. Anyway, the first one is like an ice planet with extremely tall trees. It's got a wolf running in the center. The second one hanging beside it has a human and an Eldari, kind of like back to back, with a space marine looming over them. The third one is the sign of the Aquila. Just the sign of the Aquila. Which is kind of weird. But it's not like just the Aquila necklace, it is actually a round talisman with that imprinted on it.
I see.
And then the last one, and this is the one that kind of makes you a little confused, because you can't quite tell without a scrutiny test what's on it, because it looks like it's just a bunch of images placed on top of each other.
So it's like impossible to make out.
Yes, unless you make a very hard scrutiny check to decipher the top one.
Can I try?
With the check.
Okay.
Again, it's a -20. It's very hard.
I want to
plus 20.
I believe that's a failure.
Okay, then you cannot decipher what's on the last medallion.
So there's like a panel I can place the medallions into?
No, they're hanging over the front of it.
Ah.
Like you'd have to move them out of the way to access the panel.
Well, I suppose I do so. Just to see what the panel is.
It's a combination panel. It's got a slot for a card and a little place you can punch in a number combo.
Well, this looks like another dead end. There's no way I could possibly guess what the combination is.
I tell you what, you can roll me an intelligence check. Just because a lot of these ships use, well, like, a lot of ships reuse the same codes. So you already know a few from the upper decks that you've been informed just to get you through basic doors.
I see.
So you can roll an intelligence check to see how many of those you remember and go through them.
Okay. 13. And my intelligence is like a 25.
Okay. Well, then it's not hard for you to get the right code to pop the door open. It's one of the 3 that's most used on the Apollyon. So it's not complicated to get the door open.
Hurrah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, since I've gotten this far, I stepped through the door.
Okay. So yeah, you step through the door, and there's the stairs out.
And up we go over to proceeding to wherever this leads.
Okay, so first off, there's one thing that hits your character like a fucking bag of bricks when you get to the staircase.
Okay.
Which is the fact that the light coming down from above is a lot brighter than any shipboard light should be.
I didn't catch that.
The light, it's really fucking bright. Brighter than any ship light should be.
Understood. That's pretty fucking bright, yeah?
Like, you can't even tell what's on the what's above you and on the other side. It's just a white wash of light at this point.
Big ass squint.
Roll me a perception check not to burn your eyes out. Or I guess, might it be... Nah, I'll do perception just to make it easy.
That wouldn't make it easy.
Well, I mean, it's that or toughness. Which one do you want?
Toughness. Even with my toughness, it's a failure.
That's a no bueno. You cannot tell.
Well, despite the minor eye burns, I'm gonna go up there anyways because adventure.
Right. So, as you ascend the steps, you feel the heat levels start to go up. Like, steadily rising every step you take.
Probably not the worst I've felt.
Well, here's the one thing I will give you, which is it's definitely not the worst you felt, but it's not the type of heat you would associate with a ship, you know? It feels more like there's a sun beating down on you than heat coming from any vents or anything.
Well, that's awkward.
Yeah.
Well, in spite of whatever things may be intimidating her, she presses on, as she does.
Okay. So, you finally crest the top of the staircase, and, yeah, no, this definitely isn't the Apollyon. You're standing in the middle of a dusty street, on what looks like to be some kind of maybe feudal world or something. Everything's made out of wood and like stone, not ceramite or anything like that. It's all very old-fashioned.
What the absolute fuck?
Yeah. The only things that really are of note in this little street that you're standing on is that there's a clock tower on your right in the middle of the street, and there's somebody standing at the other end with their back turned to you. They have a very long coat and a similar hat to yours, although it's got like a red band going around it. You know what I mean? Like the bands that go around hats?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got one of those, but like a red one. I have no idea what they're called.
Well, because why not? She calls out to the guy. She says, "Hey, partner, where is this?"
So as you ask that question, well, two things happen. The first one is big clock tower on your right starts to ring as it strikes high noon, and you hear the person on the other end of the street shout, "Draw!" and turn around. By the way, it's a female voice.
I draw.
Okay. So, can you roll me a ballistics check to see if you can react fast enough?
Sure. Let me. Fuck. Can I fate that?
I mean, if you wish to. It's not really... I wouldn't suggest it, though, because it's not really going to change the events of what happened here.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can if you wish, but it won't really change much.
I'll pass on the fate.
Okay. So, essentially what happens is, you go for the gun at your hip, which is either going to be the auto pistol or sixer. Which one do you keep on your right hip?
Probably sixer.
Okay, that makes this a lot easier. So you draw, fire your first shot, and as you do, the other person shot a second before you, and you hear the bullets collide with each other. As you are both aiming for the exact same place on each other. Please roll me another ballistic test.
Damn.
Okay, same situation. The stranger fires first, but you manage to once again get a shot off a second later, and you hear the bullets collide again. Third shot. This is all or nothing now. Hey, there's a pass.
That's a barely pass.
So you both get shot in the left shoulder. Like the exact same spot in the left shoulder for the both of you.
Gritting her and looks at the
So, when you glance up at the stranger, who's currently kind of the top half of the stranger's bent over and is clutching the shoulder wound in agony, and as the stranger looks up, you can see that she's kind of got like the dead eyes, very similar to yours, like kind of devoid of most, if not any, emotion. And as you kind of lock eyes with her, the clock stops ringing and the whole thing is dispelled. And you're standing at the top of the same staircase, only you're on deck 3 now. And you still have a massive shoulder wound, by the way. That's 3 damage.
Ouchies. Let me take that down.
So yeah, you're standing on deck 3 with a shoulder wound. And a bullet in it.
3 wounds?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, it definitely fucking sucks. So do you have any plans, or are you gonna stand here bleeding out?
I'm a big girl. I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. Where to? Just gonna keep wandering around the ship?
Am I back in that? Was I back in that same hall, or was I sent back? I'm sorry.
You're on the 3rd deck at the top of the steps that you walked up before. Only you're actually on deck 3 now.
Oh. Well, that was bizarre. Well, instead, how's about I look for Barnabas and ask that bitch what the fuck's been happening?
Okay. He's hanging out in a conference room just off the staterooms. You know, because that's where he said he was going to be before you all split up. But along the way, a worried crew member sees you and goes, "Oh my god, are you alright? Are we under attack?"
It's fine.
No, we need to get that looked at right away. Come on. He's actually trying to drag you off to the infirmary, which is on this level.
Okay, so I guess
Hmm?
Yeah, it is probably hurting a lot.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
It kind of sucks.
So if you're going to let this guy, he's going to drag you all the way to the infirmary. Sit you down in a chair, grab some water, some antiseptic, a pair of pliers or tweezers. You know what I'm talking about. A tiny knife. And it's set to work pulling that bullet out of your shoulder. So you're going to be there for a little while, getting a bullet removed. Which means now I can do this part. Sterling,
I am alive.
there's things you wanted to get done.
That's right! I have things I need to find. Or try to.
Right.
So, going to start with what Laura would assume would probably be the simplest thing to try and figure out, even though it's probably not, considering they're on a ship. Try and find things to work on her shotgun with. To add to her... Right. So that's gonna be... You said that one's gonna be rec rolls. Oh, great.
Yes. There's going to be 2 rec rolls. Although you'll be using your fellowship stat, not influence, because fuck influence.
I can work with that.
Because fuck influence.
So, modified stock and red dot.
And you're going to have to make 1 for each attachment.
Yeah, one. No, but they're both scarce. So that's a negative. Jesus, what the hell? What? It's a negative. Scarce is a negative, what's 10, 20?
I think scarce is the negative 10 one? I think, but I could be totes wrong at this point.
Scarce is the... It's either the negative 10 or the 0 modifier.
Average is
Yeah.
0 mod.
So yeah, it's negative 10 then?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can't charm my way out of this one.
You can rule it however you want. Okay.
I would say that the stock would be easier, but you said they're the same difficulty, so...
Scarce is the negative 10, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it is a negative 10.
Okay. Here goes everything.
And again, you have to make 2.
I ain't finding that.
No dice on the stock.
Okay, I make that. So I get the sight.
But, yeah, you do get the sight for it. You trade with some shady tech priest who wants, well, favors.
I mean, this is Laura we're talking about. It's not hard for favors.
Yeah. Plus, it's kind of the only thing you really have to trade right now.
I mean... No, I'm just gonna keep that for later. Nah.
But you do find a red dot.
Yeah. Awesome.
Now, for the cybernetics themselves, you're actually going to have to find a station, like a AdMech station or a Forge World, to acquire the cybernetics from, and then a surgeon to install them. An AdMech surgeon.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So it's not something you can just procure on the Apollyon.
Yeah, I figured. But we've got time for so that'll happen sooner or later, probably. Hopefully.
Right. So, if that's what everybody wants to do, then I'm just going to skip the next 2 hours to when Pius' ship shows up.
Yay.
Yes.
I'm gonna like bounce out, come back because for some reason I can't hear Sterling.
That's weird.
Boom.
Badoo.
Welcome back.
Okay, I heard you that time. Thank fucking God.
Right.
That whole thing was so weird because I could only hear Mike.
Oh no.
Oh. Oh Jesus.
Well, anyway, 2 hours pass with you doing your respective things. Still, you finished some of the paperwork, Sandra, the bullets now pulled out, things like that. Roll.
Uh-oh.
I just saw the dice box went up that somebody was rolling, and I was like, row. Oh, but anyway, yeah, so Pius' ship does arrive on its scheduled time. Not a second before and not a second after.
Because of course.
On time.
Yeah.
On brand.
Now, are any of you on the bridge or near any of the viewing ports, you'd say?
Would the staterooms be anywhere near that? Because I don't think I've ever asked that question.
The staterooms are near the bridge, yes. They're
Yeah.
on the same level. But,
Okay.
I'm probably back to hunting for Mr. Boss Man.
well, again, that would take you up to that bridge level, so, you would all, everyone on the top level, the bridge level, would see the, bridge itself and the corridor leading to it get bathed in a, golden light.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy, more lights.
Also, Red, you get this gut feeling like some time shit just happened, and you're not sure.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's a gut reaction. You're like, yep, that was time travel.
To ask you, by the way,
Yep.
because Conrad basically would have still been flying the interceptor up until the point that she got visual confirmation on Pius' ship.
Yep. So you would actually see it materialize.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta get
Basically, what happens is it's kind of like there's a flash of light that collapses into a singularity, and then the ship kind of spins out from that singularity, almost like the reverse of being sucked into a black hole.
That's an effect.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think about that. Instead, I'm just going to fly in and try. Well, oh, this is going to be great. I get to go to a fucking meeting in a flight suit.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Wunderbar.
So are you gonna fly toward the Apollyon then?
Yeah, I'm going to dock. Well, I assume he's supposed to come onto the ship, yeah?
Well, that's what he was planning on, yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to just drive my fucking interceptor into his bridge and be like, what's up, bitch?
It wouldn't be beyond Conrad's character, but
Not wrong, but she doesn't feel like being a total bitch to him. He's like one of the two people who's been nice to the party.
right. So you would actually manage to, on the way back to the ship, catch his ship departing from the hangar bay.
Gotcha.
And Apollyon would notify you that he's, traveling toward the ship, and you should probably get back here if you haven't noticed.
One step ahead of you. Though I do appreciate the updates.
So, yeah, you fly back, you dock. A couple minutes later, Pius docks with you. Everybody in the party would get the general alert that Pius is, shown up on the ship.
So just head straight to the meeting room.
Laura finishes her shady deals and goes up to the meeting room.
Well, here's the thing, right? Conrad,
Yeah.
when Pius steps off the ramp, none of his crew's with him, and he goes, "Oh, hey." So,
Get more of a procession ready.
oh, it's fine. The less fancy, the better. Question.
Sure.
This is an official Ordo Chrono ship, right?
It is.
Lovely. Follow me then. I want to see if something's here.
Well, there's a lot of possibilities of what that can be. You're looking for something specific, I'll start to follow on.
Something very specific.
Something that Redden probably fucks.
Probably not. I doubt any of you probably know it's even here.
Excellent. Wonderful. Amazing.
Excellent. Wonderful.
More
Amazing.
things to find out. Always wonderful.
Yeah.
So, he's got a little, like, compass. Not like one of the big fancy electronic ones, like a legitimate old school compass.
Ooh.
And he's letting the needle guide him through the halls.
Gonna assume that Conrad is also smart enough to know that's not how compass.
Yeah, Conrad is more than smart enough to know that's not how compasses work. Hell, they shouldn't even work on a ship due to all the magnetic fields.
Right. Alright, let's see where this magic fucking compass brings us. More bullshittery.
So he twists and turns and heads right in toward the back of the ship, right by the engineering sanctum. And just see, the mechanic is part of the ship.
Mechanica sanctum.
Yes.
The NG2's faffatory.
And anyway, he actually hops in one of the little Mechanatus side tunnels that the Mechanatus used to get around the ship without pissing off the rest of the crew.
Right.
And you do bump into one of the Mechanatus members of your crew. Big guy. Elenius just kind of pushes him out of the way.
Question, would I recognize him?
No, you wouldn't.
Okay, good.
I apologize to the tech priest, Pius' behalf.
Same.
So, what is the thing you're talking about that's on this ship?
Oh, you know. You've all been to the Ordo Chronos headquarters, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Every ship in the fleet has a link to the headquarters. Specifically so we can all communicate with each other despite being in separate timelines or times.
That's incredibly useful.
The fuck did Mercury not show me that?
I don't know if you noticed, but Mercury is literally the worst of us.
I noticed that right away.
He is literally, at least in my opinion, the worst Inquisitor in the Ordo Chronos. I despise the man.
Yet,
I'm gonna look at Redden and be like, and remember, I'm one of those now.
lucky you.
And I still think that you're a better Inquisitor than he is.
Tell that to my sister.
So eventually he twists you through the tunnels a little more and gets to what should be just before the actual engine room that all the engines are connected to.
Mm-hmm.
And he pushes open the door, and you're in a comfortable little meeting room.
Huh.
Oh, wonderful.
Well,
With
that's
about
interesting.
50 or so chairs, around a large table that has the Ordo Chronos insignia smack dab in the middle.
You know,
Everybody's favorite Ouroboros.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not even sure why I pretend to be surprised anymore.
Just don't. It makes things easier.
Are the
To
To
chairs
be
comfortable?
fair,
This room again.
this room didn't exist until an hour ago. So
What?
There's only one important question: are the chairs comfortable?
Yes, they're all
Good.
very comfortable.
Sandra
Conrad
just
sits and
stares
lets
at.
the man work.
Okay. Sandra just stares at the room again, and she's just like, okay. This
Okay.
room again.
So, in here, nobody should be able to hear us, listen in on us, and there's no connection to the warp here.
Ah,
So,
Sounds like
for
home.
all intensive purposes, nobody should be able to listen to what we're talking about.
That's
wonderful.
good.
Sounds like home.
Right. Now, Pius takes a seat behind one of the chairs across the table from you guys. The seat itself has a cross cut into it, much like the cross he has on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
He sits down, crosses his fingers together, and goes, "So, you want answers?
That'd be
That'd be
wonderful.
nice.
Okay. Well, I'll be here for at least the next hour or two. Fire away. I'll try to answer all the questions I can. Just try not to ask them all at once, please."
Who wants to go first?
A general.
Laura!
A general, what in the ever-loving hell is going on?
Well, you're part of the Order Chronos, of course.
Of course. Beyond that, what all does that entail? Because we've been given absolutely zero information on that, other than we keep getting told to do shit.
Pretty much.
Well, the Order Chronos started out with one idea in mind. And over the years, like any organization, those goals have shifted, new ones have appeared.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe I have a way to at least aid in showing you what we were originally about.
Okay. This should be good.
Okay. First off, the thing you all need to know is that the Order Chronos first existed as a way to stop people from abusing immortality.
That makes a lot
Okay.
of sense, actually.
Primarchs, demon princes, people like Mercury before he changed, that seek eternal life. They seek to live forever. And they're willing to do anything to achieve that goal. We're here to stop them from screwing over the timeline by doing something like that. Now, things can live for thousands of years in this galaxy, but nothing lives forever. Everything must die sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra raises her hand.
This isn't the Scola. You don't have to raise your hand.
So am I just gonna keep running into time bullshit now?
Yes, I can answer that one. Yes.
Yes.
I've only been on this ship probably like a few days, and I'm already running into time bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
by the way,
fine.
quick heads up. If I ever tell you to shoot me in the face, you need to.
I think I found myself, and then I shot myself. That was interesting.
Right. So, essentially, the Order Cronus' original mission statement was to hunt down the people who would like to abuse their immortality.
Ah, so that's what those guns with the blue runes are
Yes.
mainly for.
The original was a gun that could kill somebody's past, hence why they disappear forever.
Got it.
Now, the copies are a lot weaker and don't destroy someone's past entirely, but it's enough to make them disappear.
Hmm.
All of you are familiar of the story of Horus, yes?
Uh-huh.
We've been briefed on the Arch Trader.
So you know how which version of the story do you guys have? It seems to change every goddamn couple centuries, so...
I would hope that the name Arch Trader helps you figure it out.
Well, the question I want to ask is, was the story you told the one that I'm involved in or not?
Yeah, I know that one anyway. I looked at the rest of the party.
Oh, right. Right. That was all the fun stuff.
Shit.
Right.
What, is that one not real or something?
Oh, it is the true series of events. But, well, you could say it was kind of the birth of the Ordo Chronos in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a lot easier if I show you. He kind of swipes his hand over the table where a holographic interface appears, and the symbol in the middle starts projecting a similar image to at the Order Chronos headquarters, where it's the same scene but overlaid 4 times beside each other to represent the different timelines, and the plays there. The way things went differently there.
Mm-hmm.
He points to the second one and goes, "There's us."
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, this scene should play out as most of you know it. You watch Sanguinius get ganked, then the Emperor get, absolutely obliterated, and then Pius shows up, pulls out his wicked quote, and gets fucking murdered.
Right.
And then the Emperor loses his fucking mind. And when he does, time stops. And Pius goes, and that is the moment the Emperor figured out that he could start fucking with time. Now hold up, because this is where things get interesting. So, the frozen scene of time continues to play out, and after about a minute, you hear Pius groan on the ground and start to get up despite the gushing wound that basically separates most of his stomach from his legs. The only thing really keeping him upright at the moment is his spine.
That looks painful, to say the least.
It was really painful, yes. So Pius is the image Pius is grumbling something.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of looks at the Emperor and grumbles something else, and the Emperor says between gasp breaths that he was right. Like the Emperor was right. And Pius looks even more pissed off as he rummages around in the holsters on his person, of which he has 4 or so. 2 pistols, a rifle, and what looks like something that could hold a anti-tank weapon, like a launcher or something.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Where the frick did that thing go?" And then kind of ahas, puts his hand behind his back and pulls out the original glowing runed pistol from behind his back. You can tell it's the original because it's very old. And it lacks any of the real runes that are on any of your current ones. Instead going for the classic Order Chronos twin Ouroboros on the barrel.
Oh.
Which he proceeds to then point at Horus and shoot him with. When the bullet impacts, Horus disappears and time starts again, and Pius falls back over unconscious.
So that's why the Arch Trader's soul was, and I put up air quotes, obliterated.
Yes. Not because of the Emperor's own, well, kind of because of the Emperor's own prowess, but more because of a clever plot. A scheme that not even I knew about until the moment I was in it. The Emperor's good at things like that.
Apparently.
So, there you have it. The birth of the Order Chronos.
Huh.
Now, again, like I've said, the goals of the organization have changed over the years. As our technology gets more advanced, so do the people who discover time travel become more and more frequent. So, we have to recruit more agents to keep a lid on the whole secret. A lot of our manpower has been diverted toward that now, but essentially, our goal still is mainly to stop the abuse of immortality and, you know, essentially hunt legends.
Legends.
It's up to the Ordo Chronos to investigate the type of secrets that the rest of the Imperium shouldn't find out about. Things like rumors of the Men of Iron, or ancient relics that are too dangerous to be given to the Imperium as a whole. Much of our own technology. So in a way, you could call the organization something between a policing force, monitoring force, and an execution troop.
So the Inquisition.
But much, much more complicated. Your average Ordo Chronos Inquisitor, on even their first few missions, will deal with things that are just legend in the Imperium. As I'm sure many of you have already figured out at this point.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a fun time.
Yes, seeing the impossible unfold in front of you every day is quite a fascinating way to live life.
Like the shit with the Necrons.
Next question?
Conrad's going to excuse herself for a second because Syl isn't.
Oh.
Okay. What does Mercury even do?
Well, Conrad's gonna go drag Syl here.
Yeah, because I said Syl was going to the meeting room. Like the
Right.
normal one.
I
Oh,
missed that.
no.
My apologies. So Conrad would grab Syl while your conversation's going on, and Syl, when you'd get there, you would get the condensed version of what everyone's been told already.
Okay.
Anyway, to answer your question as to what Mercury does, he has two main roles in the Ordo Chronos.
Huh.
The first one is the discovery of individuals or Xenos who have uncovered or unlocked time travel, and to either recruit or completely obliterate them.
Okay.
Hence why he stumbled into you, and why many of the Ordo Chronos members are quite assholes, because he's trained quite a few of them.
Why am I
Are
not
we
surprised?
Yes. He's actually one of the main figures in the Ordo Chronos at this point, because of how many people he's trained.
Of course he is.
So,
To make it quite simple, he's leading the faction that kind of represents the type of Inquisitors who use heretical knowledge and shit. I forget the fucking two terms off the top of my head. Puritans and...
radical.
Radicals.
Yes. Mercury leads the radical section of the Ordo Chronos. Pius leading the purist section.
Mm.
Ah, of course.
You must
So that
love him.
explains-
Now for my next question. Well, it was more like a two-part question. Did you have to go through the Well of Eternity as two? And do we have to as well?
No. And no.
Okay.
I mean, first off, the only person who really knows how to get there is Zinch, and good luck prying that information out of him.
I mean,
Well, you're gonna hate when I say I know a person who probably knows how to get there. Because you know him too.
What exactly does that look like?
I don't think it actually has a shape.
Yeah. I think it's probably more an amorphous blob of time stuff.
Yeah.
Snelling, no one. I can't hear you. Why are you so quiet?
I think I saw something like that before.
Might have to disconnect.
No, I figured it out.
Okay.
She looks aside and she's like, thinking something like that. Forget it.
Eh.
I don't get half the shit I find on here.
It'll make sense eventually.
I hope
Kind
so.
of, sort of.
Because if I have to shoot myself again, it's gonna be actually myself. If I don't figure any of this out.
Don't feel too bad. I had contingencies to kill at least 4 versions of myself, including.
I mean, I'm fairly certain I'm gonna get in a fist fight with myself at some point.
I have another thing I need to tell you about the Order Chronos that's directly related to your first question as to what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You remember how I told you that we seek out and execute immortals, yes?
Yes.
Well, another part of that coin is the research into immortality and how it affects different people, to the point where many of our recruits share some kind of pseudo-immortality, myself included in that list, being a perpetual. Which I hope you know what that is, because I'm not in the mood to explain it.
Should we assume that you are just biologically immortal or some such?
Not quite biologically. My body can still fail and die. It's just, it
You
won't
don't
stay
stay
dead
dead.
for very long.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So regeneration.
Not quite simple regeneration. You
For
could,
the sake of simplicity and my own understanding, so you don't have to explain.
right. Just to make it simple for you, you could atomize my entire body, and I would still come back.
Okay.
It's like the undying rock.
Right. So, we also do research into the concept of immortality and how it affects people differently. And some of our recruits even share that trait.
Looks at
Now, I
Ryan.
don't speak much with the research crew, but I'm going to assume that at least 1 or 2 of you share this trait, as there's no reason why the head of the Order Chronos Research Division would be personally interacting with you all.
Wait a second.
I hold up the watch.
Oh, right, you're Mercury's protege. I guess that shouldn't be surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
How about anyone
Mercury's
else?
bitch.
Anyone else die? But not really die?
I've seen a version of myself die and then come back. Well, get back up.
Curious. Either way, I'm sure there's something about each and every one of you that interests him quite greatly, or he wouldn't be going to the lengths he is to investigate you all.
Mm-hmm.
May I ask a question?
You may.
Is the current objective of our little organization the Kensei? Or is that just us?
Well, it's a bit of a raw deal. Basically, the entire organization is more or less looking for Kensei, but it isn't the overall goal. That seems to be a quest personally imparted to you by the Emperor.
And I'm going to assume by that logic you don't know what the end game of it is.
I have a few theories in mind, but you probably wouldn't like them.
I tend not to like many things, as you'll learn that.
Right. Okay, guess it's time for another history lesson. So, the Emperor, yes?
Yeah.
Had sex with a
Weird
bunch
one
of
day?
women.
But the Emperor, he just appeared one day in history, correct? You all know this to be true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Well, I will have you know that I am older than the Emperor. So I was around when he first formed.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you for sure that the Emperor is not just a single soul. He's more like a conglomeration of human souls.
That explains a lot, actually.
Right. Now, to accomplish gathering all of these souls together into one massive spirit body, there was a mass ritual suicide that was committed of very low-level psychers. At least at the time.
Huh.
Now, here's where my theory comes into play. I think the Emperor may be attempting to recreate the same ritual with the Kensei, so that he may reattain a spiritual form and maybe inhabit another body.
So gather up and then kill all of his children, so to speak. So he
In a
can live
mass ritual suicide, so he may once again become a spirit being, not trapped within the confines of flesh, and be reborn, essentially.
Right.
The only problem with that is he would start off as a baby, and who knows how many memories he would keep.
Huh?
Because he'd be... Yeah. If it happened.
I mean,
Now, mind you, if that plan goes wrong in any way, shape, or form, it could be catastrophic.
Because then you might lose the Emperor.
Or possibly create a galaxy-spanning warp rift, depending on how it goes.
Right.
So yes, that is what I believe is, or at least my main theory on why he wants the Kensei gathered.
Because, of course, can't be anything simple.
If it were simple, we wouldn't be here.
So the
Right.
floor is now open.
So, you do want us to do the whole collection thing, yeah?
I mean, if it keeps that shrieking bag of bones happy, then yes.
This can only end
I
well.
can't help but notice the sheer amount of politics in our little organization.
Well, when you live for literally millennia, you tend to find something to fill your time with.
So if I may ask, Pius, I assume you have something akin to an end goal.
Me?
Something you want the universe or the galaxy to look like. After all, you have to be doing this for some reason, besides survival.
I'm doing this for a singular reason.
Mm-hmm.
I've been alive for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike some people, I don't quite enjoy 24/7 suffering for millennia.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I can do my part to make the galaxy a slightly better place, I'll do it. And if along the way one of the researchers find a way to cure my particular brand of immortality, then that's good for me.
So not even something like the pistol would kill you.
Oh, believe me, I've tried.
Eh.
Does Mercury have a particular reason he decides to kick around outside of being perpetually annoying?
He enjoys tormenting people.
He's just a sadistic fuck, I thought so.
It's the reason I despise the man.
And I assume that his only end goal is his own amusement, for the most part.
The man's singular goal is his own amusement.
Who was he before he was Mercury? If you happen to know that.
Now that is information I don't quite know too much about, as I would have to ask the man himself, and we can't get 3 words across each other without coming to blows.
Fuck.
But from what I know, he was a rogue trader who discovered a Jokero artifact, which led him to the study of time travel and the creation of his own pocket watch.
Okay.
Barnabas is with us.
Barnabas is looking confused as fuck.
Gonna lean over to him and just kind of, half whisper. I want to ask him about B.
Kind of
Might be
taps
the
his
only
fingers
thing you
together.
This might be the only time you will get actual answers from somebody. I doubt B will ever give you jack shit.
Alright. He kind of puts one of his hands into a fist and looks at Pius and says, "So, is B really me from the future?" And Pius puts his head in his hands. He simply mutters that bastard Mercury. So, I guess here's another thing that none of you have been told, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Since the Autochronos is a very particular organization with a particular set of skills required for it, each personal training of the recruit beyond the recruitment stage done by Mercury is done by a future version of yourself, pulled from either another timeline or the future of our own.
Oh. We could have figured that already.
We have been meeting ourselves quite often.
Come
Yes.
again?
Lawrence,
They have a quota they have to make, actually.
I'm sorry, come again?
You're gonna meet an older version of yourself, and they're going to be training you.
Yes.
That
It's
Teaching
the-
how to not die so often.
Well, that explains that sequence of events from
Yes.
an hour ago.
And Laura just looks incredibly uncomfortable because she still doesn't feel very comfortable around the future version of herself.
Oh, right. There's that future me that. Okay, yeah, I've got it.
Right. Now, again, this is anything beyond the basic recruitment phase. So, all of you should have met future versions of yourself already and have them at least training you on the basics of your powers and your use in the Order Chronos as a whole. Now, mind you, they have to train you. It's an obligation. So if they run off or try not to, remind them that I still exist in this organization. And unlike the rest of them, I can move freely in the timeline. So giving them a little visit isn't something too hard for me.
Huh. Interesting.
Fun.
Completely unrelated question. It's totally not because I hate myself. Is there any particular... How bad would it be if we happened to kill ourselves?
Well, that depends on what timeline you're using.
I
If you
think
kill
can
one-
probably figure which one that I'm talking.
If you kill yourself from this timeline, it's essentially committing suicide.
Right, I'm the older me, the one who's supposed to quote unquote train.
It would be the equivalent of shooting yourself, yes.
Okay.
Now, something interesting that none of you may know, when you are close to the older version of yourself, at least inside the simulacra they create to train you, anything you do to your body will happen to their body.
Ouch.
Friggin' Lupin.
Well, that explains the immense pain.
Looks at currently bandaged shoulder.
Ow.
So that's why I haven't punched the fuck out of myself yet.
Right. Because any damage they inflict onto you would be inflicted onto them.
Brother side, well, you did punch me,
I'm sure you deserved it.
but I didn't.
Again, this only affects you and the future version of yourself inside the simulacra they pull you into.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm gonna be saying that explains that a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
So
This
if we
session's
happen-
for.
If we happen to be in the same physical space with each other, then all bets are off.
Except for the killing yourself part. That still kills you.
I do have another question that's rather important. And that is the fact that if things go differently than what happened to her, can they, essentially,
Can they witch?
be different?
Oh, yes. The point of being trained by an older version of yourself is to stop you from making the mistakes they've made. Which is why they all hate it so much. Because they try to give you advice, and then you probably don't listen to it.
Laura
Well, I
just
mean-
looks even more uncomfortable.
You've met me, right?
Oh, I've met all of you before. Matter of fact, the older versions of yourself are quite good friends of mine. Well,
You-
as close as friends could be with people like you.
There you go.
It's
Wow.
not that bad, am I?
Laura's thumbing.
I'm definitely that bad.
Laura's thumbing the flask in her pocket. Like, should I?
So, my useful skill is dying. What do you expect?
Next question. Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times.
The fuck do we do next?
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask.
Well, you've come at a very strange time for the Order Kronos. Things are starting to spiral out of control, and nobody really knows what's going on.
Because,
surprised.
of course, we usually seem to show up when things like that happen.
Unfortunately, I can't tell you your next action. That's something you all have to decide upon yourselves. But if I could give a suggestion, don't forget about your quest to search for the Kensei. At the very least, it gives you a vague goal to work toward.
Of course, of course.
Collect golden boys, save the fucking galaxy.
Or possibly destroy it. We don't know yet.
Because
Preferably save. I rather like existence and some of the people here.
Right.
So I have a question. Is the future me always that terrifying?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know what happened to the older you quite, but something caused her to be prone to kins of berserk anger.
Laura,
I've seen her fly off the chain and kill everybody in an Imperial base before she got back to her senses.
Laura is just going to gulp quietly.
Oh, where's my unsea juice when I need it?
No, you know what? No, I have to willpower that. I have to willpower that.
Where's the unseen scenes of Pius, remembering all the time that Laura's killed him?
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about that.
Okay, I do not immediately pull out the flask and start drinking.
Yeah.
To be honest
at
with you, I'm
least I
pretty
can
sure that
see.
everyone in the old party, except for Syl, has probably killed Pius, either on purpose or on accident.
Righteous.
Sil just punched me in the face a few times.
It's better than Redden, who just forgot to tell me there was a landmine right there.
So, any other questions?
Where are
Nothing
we
that
headed
Batman
next?
can think of.
Where are we headed next?
That's for us to
Again?
figure out.
Yep.
Yeah, we kind of just went over that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Shrug.
So yeah, we're probably going to look at Barnabas. Well, I'm going to look at Barnabas, and we're probably going to put our heads together to figure that shit out.
I mean, I don't have a crazy amount of stuff I really need to do, and I don't have any God Emperor given jobs, so yeah.
I mean,
So
again-
we can...
I'm sorry, Syl.
No. No, it's fine.
I was just going to say, the only job I really care about doing, except when I have to do something else, is saving this fucking galaxy. As long as we help people, that's all I care about.
So we could always try to see if, there's any reports across the galaxy of any particularly potent psychers or anything.
Yeah.
That is
That could be
an
a,
idea.
that could be a place to begin.
I will give you all one piece of information for free.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Every Kensei has the power to shapeshift, much like the Emperor.
Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised by that.
Duly noted. Totally not. Absolutely pain in my ass.
Well, doesn't that make our job just a little bit easier, though? Like, okay, so I know,
Yes and no.
I know it sounds bad, right? But think about it like this, right? You get a psyker, they're really good at what they do, but one day they just go missing, right? A couple months later, or even a couple of years later, another one just pops up. Could always use that as a sort of lead.
The biggest problem I see, Syl, is that I feel it's going to bite us in the ass at some point when we have to find a Kensei who doesn't want to come with us. Because, they don't trust us or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've got 4 of me to take care of that.
So,
I'm sure.
depends.
Effectively.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. For now, I suppose. You have many places and times to be. I always say looking at Pius.
Right.
Wonderful.
When you see me again, kick them in the shin.
I'll make sure to do that, even though your shin is metal.
I mean, you can do it to any of the versions of me, especially the male one. He seems like a prick.
You have no idea.
I mean, they seem sort of nice.
They're more functional than we are.
Doesn't mean they aren't secretly asshole.
Their biggest
Really?
problem is indecision.
They have a whole fucking fleet! I'm gonna keep my outrage to myself.
You seem jealous there.
Maybe.
You know, Conrad. We can gather one of those over time, probably.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the idea. It's a dick measuring contest now.
Just to let you all know, if you ever need to contact me again, no matter where or when I am, use this room, and you should be able to get into contact with me. It's connected to every Ordo Chronos Rosarii across the timeline.
Huh.
Does that mean that we can prank call B?
Yes, and any of the older versions of yourselves as well.
Wait.
Now, if you excuse me, I have a very important date with one demon-fueled Lehman Russ ahead of me. Goodbye.
Oh boy.
Shit.
Bring wine
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
Have fun.
and lube.
And, like, as he steps out the door, you hear him mutter something about, why does Magnus always lose?
On.
Magnus, no.
Ow.
Well then.
Just to let you guys know also, by the way, because this room is disconnected from the warp, aside from Conrad, none of you really have communication with the people living in your heads.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a Lurvian and no Loken?
Loken is kind of like behind a fog, almost. You can't really hear him too well, but Lurvian's clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because our psyches are fucking merging.
And you
That'll
also
be
have a
lovely.
soul stone on your person, so.
Well, I guess it's time to try it out, I guess.
Sorry, what's that?
Who are we prank calling?
Mercury, who else?
Alright. How do we do that?
That's a great question.
Tech youth?
So have any of you sat down yet?
Oh,
I already
time.
called them.
Laura's
Okay.
been sat down.
Well, for those of you who are sitting down,
Yeah.
it's actually the chairs themselves that are the control mechanisms.
Awesome.
Oh. As I
So-
look at my actual chair.
Each one of you individually can make a different call or whatever you need to do.
Well, is there like a phone handle or something on the side?
No, it's a small touchpad with a slot for your Rosarius to go.
Oh, I'm gonna put my Rosarius in then.
Okay. Then it recognizes you as Redden, Timeline B Redden to be specific, young, and the chair warps to a similar metal as your watch with a symbol of a little stopwatch on the chair.
Oh, that's neat.
I'm gonna try that.
Okay, sitting down, you slot your Rosarius in. Same thing, the little touchscreen recognizes who you are, what timeline you're from, and whether you're the younger or the older one. And then your chair switches around to something akin to like a, almost like a throne that was built together with a copious amounts of like, just bound together wood. It looks very rough.
Really?
Everything is like big jigsaw pieces that fit together. There's no glue at all or anything holding this thing. It's all just slotted wood.
Okay, that is actually kind of neat, but. Really?
And on the back is similar to the medallion that's hanging in the hallway. The big tree world and all the snowy fucking forest world with the wolf head on it. Jesus Christ, that took a while to get out.
Right. Of course. Looks at the symbol. Huh.
Sandra kind of follows suit, seeing everybody doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm guessing everyone's gonna try out their fancy new.
Yeah.
I don't know if Conrad is because fuck it, Conrad's gonna do it.
Fuck it. Cool technology.
It's more along the lines of, yeah, I feel like calling myself a cunt today.
So when you slot your Rosarius in, Conrad, the chair changes to a throne of wraithbone
Oh,
With-
of course it does. On brand.
with many, 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 many soul stones in it, and slots for more.
Oh,
I feel like me and Alervian like synchronize again and we just both go pimping.
Yeah. Sandra, yours is kind of weird. It changes into like an old school rocking chair, but it's got like a holster over the arm that looks like it's supposed to have a gun go into it, like a rifle.
Eh.
Yeah. The symbol on your chair specifically is the same circular medallion with a gun on it, specifically a repeating rifle like Ace, only it's pitch black and it's covered in all the fancy ruins. And finally, who's the last one? Syl. Yes, it was Syl.
Yeah.
Syl, when you sit down and slot it in, it becomes a judge's throne. Like one of the big judge stands with a wide table in front of it.
Mhm.
And you're about 3 feet above everybody else now.
Oh.
Yeah, because it actually like is a thing that you step up to and sit down on, so it gains height.
Wow.
Idly rocking in the chair.
And again, none of you have to make any tech rolls or anything to contact other members of yourself or other parts of yourself in other timelines and shit like that. You just have to, ring them up.
Alright.
Fuck, is there a telephone in the fucking chair? I don't know, is this the Ordo fucking Chronos?
we're terrible.
Well, time to actually call for Mercury.
Okay.
It's just low.
So you call him up, and what happens is a little holographic projection appears in front of you, and after a few seconds of static, it materializes into what is probably the perspective from his Rosarias, because it's like a first-person perspective view, but it's way too low and like around his chest area. Yes. He's currently putting the screws to a guy with another one of those brain slugs.
What the fuck?
Oh, hang on. I'm getting a call. And he rips the container, the little cylinder he was using to keep the brain bug in, and let it burrow around the guy's skull while he picks up the Rosarius and goes, hello, this is Mercury speaking. Who's calling?
Mercury, you said it was gonna be a month. It's been like 3.
Oh. It's you.
Also, why didn't you tell me about this room?
What room? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, this room that allows me to talk to you.
Nope, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Pius already told me.
Fuck! Asshole.
You're one to talk.
And it's only been a month for me, okay? I've been kind of busy.
Yes, that guy looks so important.
Hey, if you knew what I was doing right now, you wouldn't be so condescending.
Uh-huh.
If you called me for no reason, I'm gonna hang up now.
But, okay. Fine. Click.
Okay, so you hang up on Mercury before he can hang up on you.
Exactly.
At this point, Laura's going to consider the keypad, consider phoning herself, and then probably think better of it and pull her Rosarius and try and make her way out.
Okay. When you go to leave, again, the door opens to AdMech tunnels.
Wonderful. I know these. Time to go.
So yeah, Laura fucks off. Leaving the rest of you.
Sandra does what any technologically dumb people will do and presses buttons until something happens.
Call
Oh
home.
boy. Roll me a die of fate to see which button you hit.
Oh god, so that's 2 die of fate. Got it. Between
Yeah,
between me and Zandra.
That is a 27, my guy.
Double dial.
Okay, so Laura, you're just doing a die of fate to randomly walk around?
Yep. See what the hell happens.
Okay, then I will get to you in a moment. Sandra, you start hitting buttons, right?
Yeah.
You're just like button, 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 and then all of a sudden, the holographic image in front of your chair projects the resort world 4 times. The resort world that you guys were just currently on.
Ah.
3 of those 4 have been exterminated quite thoroughly.
Oh boy.
Fuck.
Oh. Is there anybody on the other end, or?
No. It looks like you're viewing all 4 timelines of this specific area like an observatory.
Okay, so I guess I hang up and see if I can attempt to contact the me that I probably just saw.
You don't have to hit buttons for that one, or like not many, thankfully. It's pretty simple to navigate to yourself and then find the you and other timelines and then contact the one from your timeline that's older.
Okay.
And when you do, you hear shit and then glasses breaking and gunfire. From your point of view, it looks like the older you's jumped behind a bar and is currently reloading Sixer.
She still got that gunshot wound.
Yeah, she's still bleeding out of the shoulder, yes.
Just like the old days.
Yeah, just like the good old... Wait a minute. More gunshots? Fuck, I don't have time for this! Pulls out a frag grenade and chucks it over the bar. You hear another guy go, "Oh, damn!" And the crump of an explosion. To which, your perspective shifts from behind the bar to, like, standing behind the bar, facing the other way. So you can actually see the little saloon that is currently shot to shit and has a big-ass crater in the floor from where the grenade landed. There's 2 corpses that have become pincushions thanks to shrapnel, and one that's being blown out a window.
How's my little gift treating you?
You know, I'm gonna shoot you when I see you again.
You kinda already did that.
I mean more. Until I feel better more.
Is that a date?
Indeed it is. Make sure you bring the snacks. And with that, she hangs up on you, as more guys start to tromp into the little saloon she's in.
That was amusing. Sandra now has a distinct urge to bother herself now.
Now you're a real Order of Kronos.
Yeah.
Now you're a real member of the team.
You'll want to constantly dunk and flex on the older version of yourself.
Or want to run away.
Yeah, Laura's the only one who's genuinely scared of her older self. Although if you ask me, I would be genuinely scared of older Redden, because you don't know how far from the brink of insanity he is. And if he loses it...
Speaking of,
Just put him back in the box.
The box cannot hold me, I am the box.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what would happen. It would be like, I am the box, stutter step out.
The box
That
doesn't
and the box.
exist. It
Fucking
only
lazy.
hates.
Redden's- yeah. I'm gonna call up old Redden.
Okay. So old Redden is in the same shootout that Sandra is in.
Oh.
You can tell because he's looking through the scope of a high-powered rifle at the other end of like this very long kind of like it's like a highway rest stop essentially. Like you know those towns that spring up along the highway that are just on either side of the highway and that's it?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those.
Don't miss.
As you say, don't miss, he pulls the fucking trigger. And he goes, ha! I hit him!
The real question is, how many times did it take him to get it right?
I haven't been sitting here blowing my brains out waiting.
Was that from missing or just?
I mean, Sandra might have died once or twice too.
Mm.
And then there's
Kind of.
Conrad. Don't even get me started with her right now.
Oh man, that's gonna be fun.
So I guess as you can tell, Pius showed us the room.
Oh, lovely. So that means you can crank call me at all hours of the night now. How awesome. Takes another shot.
Going to assume this is just a bad time.
A very, very bad time.
All right.
As you hear tromping from behind him, and your point of view switches as he stands up, turns around, and pulls a familiar-looking plasma pistol out,
Ooh.
and then blasts a heretic who comes up through the doors.
Well, I'll leave you to that. Click.
Click.
All right, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I call bitch me.
Okay.
Which one?
The mega bitch.
Which one?
Which one?
Yes,
me in the future, apparently. Instead of just an alternate version of myself.
Okay. So, Conrad is also in that firefight.
As I put together.
The only difference is, she's not shooting anybody.
She's in the fucking thick of it.
No, she is holding a hostage.
Oh. Excuse me?
Yes. She has stepped out onto the street and is holding a hostage and using it as leverage to keep the guys out in the open, while Redden single-handedly pops all of their domes open.
This looks like a delicate situation. Hello.
Hello! Shit! As she blows the guy's brains out. You hear once again go shit, 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 shit as she tosses the body away and moves with what is obviously Eldar enhanced speed to cover.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Feast.
And when she gets behind cover, she says, "Oh, lovely. So Pius, I guess, finally told you about the Ordo Chronos, huh? I guess it was about time you meet him." Looks over cover, gets back down, and shots come ringing across it.
Yes, and I have an actual question for you.
I hope it's really important. She pulls out the Archaeotech box and actually changes it into the fancy ruined pistol.
Oh, that's a neat trick. It's a rather personal one. I'm going to assume you know Malice, or knew Malice. He might be dead. He's probably dead. We probably kill him, don't we?
Oh! Lover boy, yeah. Gets up over cover and shoots two of the guys, gets back down.
Is it a yes to killing him, as in we do it?
I mean, I didn't, but
He died.
yeah, jealousy's a hell of a thing.
Jealousy?
Yeah. Didn't you know?
What do I not know? What am I missing?
Okay. I see. So you haven't figured it out yet, have you?
Apparently fucking not me.
Okay. Well, this should be easy then. She stands up and caps the last guy before reholstering the box and giving an all clear to Redden in the little church tower he's in. Sandra bursts out of the little pub that she's in. So I'm gonna make this quick. I have to go, but to make it more or less, the boy has a crush on you.
That was the crazy Eldari bitch.
No. He legitimately has a crush on you. And it's only going to get worse with time. And unfortunately, somebody else who really likes you doesn't like the fact you have another admirer. And, well, he gets murdered. At least that's how it turned out here.
I'll fucking press you for details when you aren't doing shit or something. Goodbye.
Yeah, so as you're about to hang up, you see a Baneblade roll up, and Laura stick her head out of the driver hatch, and Syl pop her head out of the turret hatch, as they, start to speak to each other, and you cut the line.
I'm also going to go ahead and look through those real quick, find, I think it was D or C timeline Redden, the one who's a girl.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
God.
would
Press
be...
that button.
Let me see, let me check my notes real quick. So, yeah, it would be D.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and call her real quick, and the moment that anything picks up, I'm going to yell, "You're still a bitch!" and then hang up.
So the only glimpse you have before you shout, "You're a bitch," and hang up is the female Redden beating the crap out of what looks like a male version of Shade, screaming that he's a fucking filthy stalker.
Well, that's great. That's amazing, because I still get to yell that in the middle of that interrogation scene, where she probably feels really good about herself.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, because, gender standards get kind of reversed.
Hey,
I'm also going to go ahead and, as I see that and stand up, I'm going to look at Redden over in his chair, and I'm just going to say, "Female you might be fucking crazy." Just put it out there.
All of me is crazy. I just haven't hit that point yet.
You were beating the shit out of male Shade,
The fuck?
Like- torturing him.
It wasn't quite torture. It was more like a beatdown for some kind of transgression.
Torturing him.
I think Sondra is going to check if any future version of herself makes it to Denhill.
And that's the name of your homeworld, right?
Correct.
Well, cruising through the timelines, you figure out that the D timeline, the one where you're all gender swapped, gets back to the planet, and in the nick of time saves it from an invasion.
Huh.
Yeah. Now, mind you, it's hard to tell because the timestamp is M41999, and it's kind of like,
Literally any point in this year.
Right.
So,
We all know it's going to be December 31st.
so no other version of myself has done so.
No. Matter of fact, the future version of yourself failed trying to do the same feat.
Don't fuck it up.
I know.
Oh shit! Oh, fuck.
She
What?
looks contemplative right now.
Is there a future version of Austere in any of these lists?
Yup.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
fuck. Oh, shit.
What? Still has a call to make.
Go ahead.
Want
I'm
to
gonna
call
dread this decision.
We'll call C timeline, the ones that looked all beat up at the meeting.
The war-torn ones?
Yeah.
Okay, is there anyone on the squad you want to call, or are you going to conference call this shit?
Oh,
Conference call.
Okay,
Oh,
so you
God.
ring all 4 of their Rosarius, and they're standing close enough to each other that it kind of creates a bigger picture. Yeah, they're standing in a trench line across a fucking another massive trench line, and they're stuck in the middle of mud and blood with a bunch of Kriegsmen.
Because of course they are.
Trenches.
So you guys work with the Creeks?
Yeah, we work with whoever needs. Who the fuck said that?
It's Sil.
So, did you say something? The other you goes, no, I didn't say anything. Why?
Yes, I did. Don't listen to her.
Okay, who the fuck is talking?
I don't think.
Look, it's a different Sil. The one. I don't know which Sil I am, but I'm one of them.
Just say you're the one from the party.
But there were 4 of us at the party.
I just like the fact that
The
Gwen's
young
off
one.
mic, so she just yells, "There were 4 of us at the party."
Yeah.
I'm the one that wasn't a dude or beat the shit or old. And
You guys hear that, right? The party kind of nods. So I'm not going crazy. It's not a voice in my head. Where the fuck is it coming from? Where are you?
look,
I don't think they know.
basically, you're part of the Order of Kronos, so we can contact you at any time as long as we're on the ship. That's what I'm doing.
How the bloody hell do you do that?
You've got to talk to Pius.
Who the fuck's Pius?
Look, I'll tell him he needs to talk to you guys.
It's Timefuckery that don't make sense.
The weird cowboy lady said it's time bullfuckery that doesn't make sense.
Well, fucking course it is. Oh, God, Emperor, no. As, the one that's Sil, you can tell it's Sil because she's set up behind a heavy stubber on the trench line, starts to shout, "We've got a charge!"
Oh, well,
As, the trench across from them, yeah, they're up and overing it.
Because of course.
Well,
I just love the fact that I'm the only one that hasn't chosen to call my future self.
I didn't call my future self.
You conference called it, but still. You know what I mean. A different version.
That isn't-
Whatever.
I was gonna say, that isn't the future me.
No, that's the same age as you, but just lives in the shitty original Warhammer timeline.
And getting completely dicked over at every opportunity.
Yeah. Like, who the fuck's Pius? Oh.
I made a promise, so we're going to have to tell Pius to contact the, always fighting us at some point. It's gonna
Okay.
be fun.
I'm going to put that on my refrigerator.
You have a fridge?
Somewhere, I'm sure. I'm going to make one last call,
Okay.
and I'm going to pull a future austere, and the moment that it picks up, I'm going to just blurt out the question of, "We never fix it, do we?"
Okay, so,
Because that's the only way Conrad can have this conversation.
when you, when the holographic image appears in front of you, you're looking at hell.
Uh-huh.
Only it's currently in the middle of the main hype spire being rebuilt. Do you
Right.
hear, huh? Fix what?
Us. In case, well, maybe you don't recognize this one.
Wait, who the hell said that? Oh.
Yeah.
Look, you really want to know the reason why I won't talk to you right now? Or, well, that version of me?
I'm a massive heretic, I'm a bitch. There's many reasons that I can think of.
Nope, none of those.
Mm-hmm.
I think, or, well, thought at that time, that you hated me.
For fucking what?
I don't know, a few things.
Captain,
Existing?
think about it for a second.
It's the only thing I can think of.
Captain, I want you to think about it for a second. You won't fucking talk to her.
I'm scared.
Captain, do I have to
Fucking
force you to
battle.
talk to your sister?
She's a sister of fucking battle.
Is that
You're
all
fucking
there?
Captain, you're fucking
Is it
half-
Sandra asking Conrad, or?
No, I'm asking out of character. Is that austere?
Yes, I'm talking to Austere, a future Austere.
If Sandra can hear the other calls, she would probably blurt out something like, "Hey, Aussie."
So you get the reflexive, oh hey Sandra back, and then wait.
It's a very cramped room, don't worry about it. Thank you very much for clarifying a few things for me. I hate my life.
Click. As Conrad's now going to proceed to walk out and tear her hair out as soon as nobody else can see.
Well, no, the actual response is that I'm going to throw up, because the hood's always there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw the hood up to where it obscures my face to where they can't see the expression of pure fear, but I will fucking scream for about 2 seconds. And going, I'm going to go talk to my sister.
You need some more support.
Tell her I said hi.
I'll do my best. I may or may not have an aneurysm and die.
Should I get a loop ready?
Do not.
Oh god.
Okay, I'm just gonna tag along and make sure she doesn't die of a heart attack. Thumbs up to everyone else in the room.
Alright.
So
Let me know
that's
something
only
bad happens.
Reddit and Sandra at that point.
Right. So, Laura, just to deal with your dire fate right now before all this gets rolling.
Oh god.
You found yourself navigating on autopilot back to the tank bay.
Because of course. Oh no. Oh
Yeah.
no. Have I been
So
back
you're
in the
gonna-
past 2 days?
You've been popping in and out just to make sure they're okay and like they're oiled and they're covered in safe unguents and everything is working fine and the ammo is loading smoothly. Basic maintenance stuff as well as counseling.
Yes, counseling the tanks.
Yeah.
Oh god. Here we go. Do I walk in on any particularly interesting conversations between the tanks?
Nah, they're mostly going over ammo types, turret rotation speeds, just general combat stuff.
Okay, that's good.
They're basically comparing the differences between each other.
Fair, fair.
Has any of it escalated to dick measuring yet?
It's a barrel measuring contest, okay? Don't get it twisted.
I was gonna say caliber measuring, but okay.
Glory has the obvious advantage.
Moving on. Laura's going to walk right past them towards where her little... I'm not even sure what to call it at this point. Her little makeshift room and everything is set up, and just like close the door and stare at the and just, what in the ever living fuck?
Can we just call it a den?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
There you go.
God damn it. Laura's den. Alright, yeah, we'll go with that.
Right. So you're just gonna stare at the wall and kind of big thonk?
Yep. Try not to lose my shit over the fact that, wait. If she can call me at any time, and I can call her, wait a second. That's scary.
Let's be honest, older Laura is probably biting into her chair thinking about calling you and ripping your throat out somehow.
No, old Laura is creepy. She calls, but just watches and never says anything.
You know, that sounds like older Laura.
That's why she's so fucking judgmental of people, because she just calls and observes what you do when you think no one is watching.
And that's why you leave your Rosarius behind.
Please tell me old Laura has gained corruption by being there when Conrad was staring into oblivion.
Maybe.
That is horrifying.
Anyway, yeah, finishing up with that, I'm going to deal with Conrad talking to a steer.
Hopefully won't take that long.
Hopefully not.
So, what do I do? Where I find her?
You find her, well, more or less sitting with her face, like, right into a desk in one of the, little, like, fucking, now the word eludes me, like, one of the cafeterias. The fuck are they called?
Canteen?
The mess. Yes. You find her there. With her face in the fucking table. She's not wearing any armor, she doesn't have the helmet on. She's just wearing standard sororitas robes.
I look genuinely concerned, and I'm gonna go ahead and walk over and, like, her head's against the table, like, is she asleep? Can I tell?
You can tell she's totally awake. You can tell because she's still moving, you know? Like, occasionally she moves one of her hands, or, like, she'll shift her body to get more comfortable.
I'm gonna, when I get close, I'm gonna let out, like, a little whistle to try to get her attention.
You hear, she flips her head over to look at you.
Oh, sorry. You're tired.
No, I'm not tired. She sits up, just hungover. Kind of pulls her hair back straight. I may have drank a little too much last night.
I never took you for one of them, to be honest.
I'm not, really. Hence why this is affecting me so much.
Something particular happened besides everything? Ever? All the time?
Just thinking about home. I'd rather not.
Right. Well, I've dropped in to have a very awkward conversation and inform you that, well, things that I never really got to tell you because we didn't really have much of a childhood, but I still consider you my sister and I love you like family. And so, if at all possible, I'd like to still, like, be able to try to build that kind of bridge that we never had because our father was a dick. Yeah, that's a sentence, Con. I'm good at this.
So Austere, like, looks at you dead in the eyes.
Uh-huh.
And you can tell she's trying to judge if you're telling the truth or if this is another one of the lies you tell. Because you were quite known for lying. Especially to her.
It happened.
And she goes, as much as I would enjoy that, not sure. You're gonna have to fellowship check your sister to see if you can convince her that you're being genuine. And this isn't just some convoluted lie, some kind of plot that you need her involved in.
Hold on a moment. Google Docs crashed.
Oh no.
I fucking love it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Brother, I have been here.
I actually do have Conrad's character sheet up right now, so...
Yeah, I don't think I make that in any sort of metric because unless I won't get any, I can spend a fate to roll it.
You could.
Can I try to help convince her?
Yes, you can join and give her a plus 10, I think it was?
Then that would pass.
Okay.
Because my fellowship is a raw 40.
Then you manage to just barely convince her that this isn't another one of your plots that you need Austere in on. And when she realizes this, She immediately springs, grabs you by the shoulders, and goes, "Really?
Yes.
Really, really?"
Really, 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 in fact.
Conrad gets a hug.
Oh no.
I feel like me and Alervian both have that same mental reaction of Jason.
Well, at this point, your brain is breaking because you're pretty sure that this is the first time in a long time that anyone's actually given you any positive physical, like, actions. Like, hugs and the like.
Physical affection is the word you're looking for, I believe.
Thank you.
I'm going to return it very slowly and being very self-conscious about spiky Eldari arm. And then being mentally like, Alervian, how the fuck do you hug people with this thing?
Oh, I don't hug people.
Of course you fucking...
Of course you fucking... what a surprise. The Dark Eldar isn't into hugs.
I fuck or I kill. There's no in between.
Yeah. After what seems kind of like almost an uncomfortable amount of time passes, Austere lets you go and goes, "Ha! I feel a lot better now."
Cool. Great. Amazing. I'm gonna go, like, decompartmentalize all the stress that's been building in my brain and try not to have an aneurysm. Give her a thumbs up as I start to back away.
Oh, wait, before you go,
Uh-huh.
Austere starts digging around the pockets of her robes and pulls out a little packet of bound tea leaves.
Oh.
Here, this should help you calm down a little bit.
I take it.
Alright.
Well, at least you didn't pick up the drug habit like I did.
Ilervian just turns it into drugs.
Give us time.
Small round of applause.
Hurrah.
Gonna fucking... Also, when we get out there, I'm going to look at Sid. I'm going to go, thank you for having my back. Because I wouldn't have made it otherwise.
I can't give applause. I am holding cap.
That's what I'm here for, Captain.
Fucking eyes are piercing. I see the judgment of my people in there.
What?
Don't worry about it. It's Conrad trying to not say that she sees Dad in fucking Austere. It's like half the terror.
Right.
Wonderful.
But yeah, the only thing Conrad really is going to do is try to, do other things with the crew and make sure that we start getting ready to figure out, where we can go and stuff like that. And then also, I'm going to have a small conversation with Apollyon, right? And I'm going to go to the actual AI core for this. And if Malkazetic's there, I'm going to ask him to, basically, I think... Well, basically ask him to leave for a second, because I like to talk to Apollyon privately.
Oh, okay. So he was actually halfway up a gantry, removing some of the big-ass armor plates that are currently attached to the knights.
Gotcha.
So he hops down and promptly leaves the room.
So,
He's alone with
effectively...
Apollyon.
What I'm going to ask Apollyon about is her ability. Well, I assume that she understands risk assessment and so on, right?
Yeah.
And what's her databases as far as understanding human emotional capabilities and so on?
I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants on that one.
Then to ask you if you can help me with what I'm kind of looking for, because I'm paranoid about things now, because old me is cryptic, because she's a bitch. I'm going to ask Apollyon to go ahead and, please, if you don't mind, look over interactions between me and Malice. and give me a general idea of what you think he thinks of me.
Okay. Wouldn't
wanna
it
see
be
what you do.
better if you asked one of your more skilled teammates to do this, though? And I'm not the best when it comes to human emotions.
I want your opinion first and foremost because I want to keep this as in-house as possible. And I'm going to need you anyway, and so I might as well start with.
Oh, well, I'll keep your secret.
I appreciate it. So the question is that does she give me the answer I'm looking for and has the, the emotional intelligence to be like, oh yeah, he has a crush on you?
Well, after about 5 minutes of computations, the answer you get back from Apollyon is that he admires you.
Gotcha.
And what Apollyon thinks the reason why he admires you is because you had this strength to break free from your family's legacy, so to speak, and forge your own path.
Right, daddy
Something
issues
that
are
he
not-
couldn't do until he saw you set an example.
Right.
As far as she can tell, he's more of a follower than a leader.
Except among his own little clique.
But even then, he still turns his eyes to someone higher when it comes to making decisions.
Right. Okay.
At least that's her rough assessment. She'd have to comb through way more data and do way more computations if you wanted a more solid answer.
Well, that's basically, I don't want to bother you with it. I just wanted that as a little test. I very much appreciate it, and I'm sorry if I wasted any of your precious time, Apollyon. I know you have a lot to do around here. I'm gonna
No,
pat the
that's
data core.
okay.
Like, pat the data core.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inform me if anything bursts in flames, and I'm going to go talk to Sil.
Right.
Very quickly, the only thing I need to tell you, Mike, is I tell Sil basically what old Conrad told me, the fact that apparently someone kills fucking Malice.
Right.
Because I need somebody to tell that to, because fuck!
Oh, I have to tell him.
Why don't I tell him?
Yeah.
Because somebody's gonna... I don't know how to have that conversation.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
So, Conrad,
Yeah?
willpower roll me not to hide in your stateroom for, quite a while.
X number of days to where I don't have to look at Malice.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
shit.
at this point the stress is starting to hit Conrad.
As long as I don't start staring into oblivion. 56, that is 1 degree of failure.
Okay, then you are gonna lock yourself in your room for 1 day.
Make a conspiracy board about who could possibly kill Malice.
Amongst other things.
Good job.
Wonderful.
You see, whenever we get stressed about that, we start stressing over how to kill ourselves. Without dying.
Oh. So, anyway, Conrad's locking herself in her room. What about the rest of y'all?
I mean, at this
Go on.
Oh.
Go on. You go on. You
I-
started.
at this point, I'm probably talking to Redden and asking him about the situation at the moment because she's a bit behind.
Which situation? There's a whole ass.
The
Well-
right here, right now, the fuck we doing, the fuck just happened situation.
We were finally given more information as to what this particular Ordo Inquisition does and what we're supposed to do. But as of right now, all technicality, we just finished a mission and we're unwinding it. And people are catching up on paperwork.
So I'm
Cut
not
to
the only
Silk.
one.
Thud, 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 thud.
So I'm not the only one that was just told about this shit?
Yes and no. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna end up with, why am I being told this now?
I think she seems, while she's talking to him, she seems a little like at the same time she seems really focused on scrolling through timelines and trying to figure things out.
I can tell you one thing. Laura's not going back into that room until there's no one there.
She's
Right.
she's trying to find a solution to her own problem.
Mhm.
Okay. Will.
At some point she may contact some other versions of herself.
Okay, but for the time being, you are.
Just trying to figure out the current situation.
Okay. So you're gonna go around and query the situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So, this isn't hard. You won't have to roll for it, because nobody on the crew that you've asked so far really has any fucking clue what the main party gets up to. All they know is it's some really, really shady stuff.
The main party? Oh, the old party.
No, like you guys. Like the
Oh.
main party. Like I was referring to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody in your crew actually has any fucking idea what you do half the time.
That's probably
Me.
for the best.
Yeah. That's my secret. I don't do it.
Oh no.
However, you do hear a lot of really strange rumors about, like, boxes filled with weeping people, Space Marine walking around on the lower decks, somebody just dropped, I think it was Mason.
Yeah.
There he be.
Okay, so the rest of what I'm doing is looking for the other members of my own party just to make sure none of them have exploded yet.
Well, Hal stayed aboard the Monocular because he's fucking angry and spends 90% of his time bashing apart training machines.
Sounds about right.
Austir's, last time you checked, hung over in one of the mess halls. And Barnabas, you're not sure where he went.
Naturally.
Although knowing him, he probably went back to the Monocular to get away from all of this shit and hide in his little room. Much like Conrad's doing, as he screams at the fucking roof at the top of his lungs.
Is Syl trapped under a pile of paperwork right now?
I do not know if Syl would be going back to her office directly or not.
Oh no, Syl learned who was responsible for all that paperwork. She still
Oh.
has to yell at him.
Oh.
So, do you have any other questions about the ship and what we do here?
I'm not quite sure what to make of this.
Just roll with it. Just keep. I don't know.
That's all I ever seem to do. Roll with it.
That's what I have to do. Hell, that's how I'm even here at this point.
So I just have to hit the bathroom for a quick moment. You guys can use this opportunity to chat amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Laura just failed her willpower.
What the fuck you do?
So when that room clears out, Laura is going to go drunk timeline watching.
When are we going to usurp the GM?
I don't know.
Eventually.
fair enough. Yeah, Sill's gonna go rip, I think it was Malice, a new asshole?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to ask questions since it's like both self-explanatory and not at the same time.
It's self-explanatory in the sense that you're never going to get the fucking answers.
I just get I get the distinct feeling that if I keep ending up rolling willpower like this, Laura's just going to get dragged into her simulacra by herself and the crap beat out of her.
So,
It's just like, wait, isn't this hurting you too? Oh, I can handle way more pain than you've ever felt.
Toughness 70.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, we need to get Syl some armor that just has her paperwork stamps on the knuckles so she can punch the paperwork into submission.
Yes.
What we really need is a drunk party sitting in that room watching everyone's timeline.
I'm back.
Hello.
Mike, I just want to let you know, Laura failed her willpower. So there's a drunk Laura, but there's going to be a purpose to it. As soon as that room clears out, she's going timeline surfing.
Okay. Well, I think it's currently vacated right now.
Mike,
Uh-huh.
speaking of drunk, Sondra's also going to give up with the screen for now, and she's gonna go drink it with Austere.
Well, Austere will happily join you for whatever you want to do. She's not going to drink too much. She feels fucking terrible.
Oh no.
Oh, she seems to be in a much better mood than you've seen her in months.
That's cool.
Cute.
You know this because the first thing that she does isn't immediately try to pull a prank on you.
What?
Austere likes to do malicious little pranks here and there. Sandra's usually her number one target because, you know.
It doesn't help that she doesn't give reactions to things.
Well, no, that's why it's a game between you two. She just has to keep upping the ante until you do.
So you fucking snap and go postal.
Nothing has worked yet, I'm going to assume.
Probably
Not quite. You've got a crazy poker face. Kind of why you're not allowed to play cards on the monocular. That when you sit down, people tend to start leaving the table.
Bad mojo.
Yep.
So, if nobody has anything they really want to get out of the way now, I'll deal with drunk Laura calling herself.
Oh
Oh,
no.
God.
Oh no. Is she just going to call herself by accident while trying to look through the timelines?
Well, you stumble in, right?
Yes.
You throw your Rosarius down, you start thumbing through the timelines to see what the other users have got up to and stuff. Then you accidentally hit the button to call.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Do I notice?
Oh, you totally notice.
Scramble to try and hit the button to stop it, but I'm auto failing it because I want to see what happens.
Okay, so when the holographic screen appears and starts to play the image from the Rosarius, what you get is actually it's hanging off of something. This lore is in the picture.
Huh.
Yes. She's in the middle of changing.
Of course. Still frantically trying to find the right button. Probably audible clicky clacking.
Nope, thankfully it's a touchscreen, so...
Oh, awesome.
But just to give you details, it looks like Laura's in her stateroom on the Apollyon. And she's changing out of the robes that she normally wears, the mishmash of Ecclesiarch and Mechanatus robes.
Uh-huh.
And she's switching into her armor.
Oh.
Yes.
Blink, blink.
And the wolf, well, man at this point now, because he's fully grown, is assisting her in getting the armor on.
Huh. Well, that's
Yes.
interesting.
And after the armor goes on, old Laura meanders on over to Rosarius, puts it on, and then starts tromping out toward the familiar halls of the Apollyon, toward where you think the teleportarium is.
Laura's probably stopped trying to find the end call button and is curious.
Well, following her, she goes down to the teleportarium, which has a lot of crazy alien technology smashed into it. Looks like a hodgepodge of like 4 different alien races' technology combined with the Imperium's.
I gotta roll something. That's Tech Heresy.
Now, is that out loud or?
Yeah, Laura said that out loud.
Okay. Well, when you say that's Tech Heresy, the response you get back is your Tech Heresy. Oh no.
Oh no.
Look, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now. She starts punching in, like, stuff on a panel beside the teleportarium.
Okay.
You're drunk, aren't you?
Maybe.
It's no use lying.
Yes.
Awesome. Great. We're gonna have to deal with that sometime.
I've been doing better, mostly.
Yeah. The path will tell me if you're doing better or not.
This is the first time I've gotten drunk since we left the planet.
Uh-huh.
It's 2 days.
Ooh, new record. Wow.
Okay.
I see where this is going. Look, as much as I would love to lecture you on why the habits you have are not healthy for you, I'm currently, well, now, she hits another button below the control panel, activating the teleporter. I'm a little busy.
Okay. Laura's gonna spontaneously find the end call thing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go. Bye.
Okay, so as you're like, hey, I'm gonna go, bye, the teleporter clicks on, and your old Laura gets enveloped in a kind of shimmering green light before disappearing. And then you get black as you go, okay, bye, and hang up.
Yeah. I think at this point, Laura's going to stumble around the ship like, wow, I'm a fucking idiot.
Is that old you's an idiot or you?
Who's the one who's drunk?
I don't know. Yeah.
And the sad thing, is, Laura's probably going to end up getting more drunk because she has no willpower when she's already drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's fun.
Alright, anybody else have any last declared actions before I wrap this little informative session up?
I'm just gonna die of fate to see what happens to drunk young Laura. Yeah. 63.
Maybe check on Shade again, see if she's still angry.
Gonna punch Malice and tell him to do his own paperwork.
Are we talking face punch, chest punch, arm punch?
Gut punch.
Die of
Come
fate to
on,
see
gut
where he
punch.
punched. Die of fate to see where he's getting punched.
Bitchin'.
That's legit just hit location.
Yeah.
That is hit location. I believe that would be chest.
Yes, I believe that is
Yeah.
also the chest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're gonna punch him in the chest.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I
I
said
my only question for you is if the Lurvian has an opinion on what the fuck do we do about the Malice is going to fucking die, because apparently I have admirers or some stupid shit.
I mean, I don't see a problem with him dying.
Of course you don't, because your crazy fucking girlfriend's attached to him.
And before Mike pulls the trigger, it's Sun.
I wasn't ready for that.
no, it's Barnabas.
Oh no, even
Even
worse.
worse.
Nope, that one I'm keeping in my back pocket.
Fucking.
Bruh.
Hold on. Does Loken have an opinion?
Logan, this whole emotions and lovers thing is way beyond his scope.
Yeah, I figured as much. I didn't think Grandpa had anything to fucking say.
The only piece of advice that he will give you, he can tell, is he doesn't think, other than Malice, there's anyone on the ship who's really enamored with you.
I don't think so either, which is why I'm afraid.
Oh god.
Hold on a moment. Is it a 73? That's a failed willpower. Am I gonna feel really fucking guilty if I don't, like...
If you don't like...
I'm trying to figure out if Conrad would try to talk to Malice about it. Which wouldn't be this session. It's resolving yourself to do it or not to do it, and that's a failed willpower. Does it mean I gotta do it now?
Yeah, that means that you would not be able to work up the guts to avoid this problem. Or yes, work up the guts to. If yes, you'd be going to talk to Malice about it.
Okay. Because she wants to be like a Laravian and be like, "Oh, we're fine, it'll work itself out. You know, if he dies, he dies." But now I'm like, no, I can't. It's fucking. That's basically all what Conrad can do because she's busy locking herself in her room and having a panic attack. So.
Anyone else?
Well, I did say check on Shade.
Yeah, to give you an update, she's still moody, but it's at the point now where she'll at least accept your presence and not try to drive you away.
Okay.
You are allowed to exist.
Yay.
You are not only allowed to exist, but, you're pretty sure that she's... Actually, can you roll me a fellowship check?
Sure. Double check it. Okay. Here. In.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, yeah, no, you can tell what she's pissy about.
Okay.
She's pissy because she didn't get laid at the resort.
There it is. There it is.
See, Laura kept telling him, yeah, make sure.
You resisted the feminine wiles. You didn't get Magnus to get you a fucking condom. You see what happens?
Laura gave him the condom. What are you talking about?
Magnus could have gave you the one that would have actually, worked.
Fuck.
A warp infused condom, to where she couldn't poke holes in it.
Shade is crazy enough to do something like that.
Ah, fuck, where'd my glasses go?
I mean, Red's dick is small enough. I'm pretty sure he couldn't even, get that far.
Wait, see, that's when he spends a fate point to use the demon form. We'll be fine. Anyway.
Anyway, with that, if you could please cut the stream.
I did roll a die at fate to see what happened. You know what? We'll wait till next session to see what happens.
Yes.
Alright,
I will also ask you to roll the die of fate then, so that, it's not like, what did you roll last Sunday?
Fair point. Alright.